A notification pops up on his watch screen. Minotauros, the boss of the Labyrinthos maze dungeon. That beast catches him off guard. Minotauros, he looks completely baffled by what he's seeing. So it's the boss of the Labyrinthos maze. Jiro stays silent. Boss. Massive. Heavy footsteps are charging straight for them right now. Looks like they're all targeting the two of them. You're telling me every boss-level monster is swarming this way? Haseong sighs as he delivers the news. It looks like this gate has automatically reset with a brand new boss. His face turns incredibly serious. Since the gate was destroyed before a boss appeared, all the standard monsters have been randomly swapped for boss-level beasts. Jiro is standing right there, feeling totally helpless. I don't really get it, but this seems like a huge deal. He scratches his head, thinking it's lucky he's stuck with an S-ranker. Hunter Dung Haseong. Then he asks her, so, where exactly am I supposed to hide right now? He quickly adds a few more words. I'm useless in a fight, and I'll just be in the way. Just point me somewhere safe. He suddenly spins around to face him. What are you talking about? His next words leave the guy totally stunned. I have zero intention of protecting you. Figure it out yourself, Kim Ju. Ju's face goes completely blank with shock. Haseong doesn't care about his reaction and just snaps. You call yourself a hunter, and you can't even handle that much. He just holds his head in panic. Why is this guy suddenly freaking out on me? Watching the Minotauros swarm toward him is pure despair. You're making an F-rank survive this insane mess all on his own? He quickly asks, is this about that surprise attack from before? Because honestly, I wasn't the one who did it. Haseong cuts him off sharply. Was it Kang Chang-ho? His face becomes eerily calm as he speaks. I figured as much. I don't even care about that. He's still confused and keeps pushing for answers. If it isn't about that, then why are you taking your anger out on me? Because your attitude is honestly disappointing. He keeps judging him while he's still confused. You're registered as an F rank, but you're just wandering into B rank gates whenever you feel like it. You take all the hunter perks, but dodge every responsibility. Those words shut him up instantly. Jiro tries to explain himself further. Hunter Dung Haseong. But he just turns his back and walks away. Hunters like you honestly make my blood boil. He's still trying to get a word in. No, I mean, you don't even seem to care. Even if it's your duty, you're only called in for a dungeon break. You just think your own opinion is law. While you're acting like this, how many people have died? Gio suddenly yells. Hey, for the love of stop interrupting me. Just thinking about this massive mix-up pisses him off. Great, I am stuck at F rank with nothing but basic analysis skills. Haseong's eyes narrow, looking totally annoyed. He watches that Minotaur charge in for another relentless, brainless attack. Haseong spins around, ready to rumble. With a cold, blank stare, he snaps his blade out of the sheath. One hit. That is all it took to drop the beast. Its carcass ends up sliced clean in half on the dirt. While Ju stands there in a daze, Haseong's voice cuts through the air. Got it. F-rank hunter Kim Ju. He gives a cold, hard reminder. Since you are so proud of those analysis skills, why don't you handle things yourself? Ju is completely lost now. Wait, what? Suddenly, the guy bolts, leaving Ju in total despair. Hunter Dung Haseong really just ditched him like that. His brain is spinning. How can a guy just walk away and leave someone behind like it is nothing? I am going to hate this guy forever. Right at that moment, a pack of monsters completely surrounds poor Jiro. He snaps back to reality, terrified. Those massive monsters are still charging straight at him without stopping. Crap, they are all swarming me now. They must have noticed the S-rank hunter's energy vanish once he took off. Jiro spins around, looking for any way out of this mess. Damn it, I am totally cooked. He's freaking out, trying to outrun these giant minotaurs. I should have just clung to Haseong's leg and never let go. Jiro is sprinting for his life. The minotaurs are hot on his heels, and if he stops for even a second, he is dead. Suddenly, one of the monster's eyes start glowing. It unleashes a massive power strike directly at his head. He barely dodges it. One scratch and it is game over. His face goes pale as he realizes the danger. My stamina is hitting 0. I need to find an exit fast, or I'll have to blast my own way out. Just when things look hopeless, Haseong's familiar silhouette suddenly reappears out of the blue. He starts slicing through the minotaurs like they are paper, leaving Ju standing there with his jaw dropped. Dung Haseong. He stares at the absolute carnage. Did that guy just incinerate the monsters and the entire forest at once? This doesn't add up. That kind of power is just insane. Haseong keeps dancing through the pack, his blade flickering like lightning. Realizing things are going south, Ju starts getting really anxious. He's killed so many, yet the exit still hasn't appeared. Do we really have to wipe out every single monster here? Something familiar catches his eye. Suddenly, a minotaur lunges at him, forcing him to scramble out of the way. While Jiro is still panicking and unsure of what to do, a plan starts forming. Forget it. I have to stick close to Haseong to survive. Wait, is that Minotaur over there actually using a magic circle? What the hell is that? This is getting weirder by the second. Since when do these monsters use magic? Sweat is pouring down Jiro's face. He recognizes that skill and he knows his life is flashing before his eyes. Stone Spike. It is an area of effect attack. He looks totally desperate. If that hits him, he is toast. Crap, I won't be able to dodge this. Suddenly, it hits him. There is only one way to survive this. Jiro sprints toward Ha-Song, screaming at the top of his lungs. Watch out, someone is charging up an area attack. Ha-Song looks back, totally startled. What? Jiro thinks to himself, if Ha-Song started this mess, he better be the one to finish it. He keeps yelling for him to block the hit. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shatters from the Minotaur's sheer force. Ha-Song's expression darkens. Damn it. He grips his sword with a cold look and charges straight into the fray. He goes full focus against this massive beast. In a second, the entire area is swallowed up by raging flames. The Minotaur is getting incinerated, slowly sinking into a massive sea of fire. The whole place is a wreck, the forest literally ripped apart. Ha-Song sighs and sheathes his sword. Is it finally over? A weird noise catches his attention. Curious, he whips his head around. What he sees next makes him freeze in his tracks. Crap, that last blast caught Jiro. He is lying there on the ground, scorched and shaking. Kim-Ju, you alright? His hands are burned pretty badly. Looking at the damage, Ha-Song's face starts to fill with genuine worry. Damn it, his arm. He frantically starts digging through his pack. I know I have some recovery potions in here somewhere. Ha-Song is stuck in his head. Someone else got hurt just because of his insane power. I should have been more careful. My lack of control is actually putting other people's lives at risk. He just stands there, whispering, I am so sorry. Then he snaps out of it and turns back. Kim-Ju, you still with me? Jiro tries to keep his cool. I am fine, he mutters. Ha-Song looks at him, totally confused that he is even talking. Wait, what? This guy is burned to a crisp and he didn't even blink? But deep down, Jiro was screaming in pure agony. It hurts. God, it hurts so bad I can't even force out a scream. He looked down at the brutal burns covering his body. Honestly, as long as he was still breathing, a little scorched flesh was nothing. Magic could fix this easily. Typical Alforian accident. He didn't blame anyone else, just took the hit. This was his own karma coming back to haunt him. I literally threw myself in front of Haong. Jiro struggled to sit up. This one is on me. His next words made the other guy freeze instantly. Sorry I jumped in like that, man. It took a second for Haong to even process what he heard. Why? His voice cracked, barely a whisper. Why are you the one apologizing? Suddenly, Jiro just lost it and started yelling. A massive Minotaur lunged from the shadows behind him. He didn't hesitate, grabbing his blade and locking back into combat mode. One clean strike was all it took to finish the monster off, but the whole area was already descending back into pure chaos. Jiro sensed that something was very wrong. He looked around, sounding panicked. Looks like a whole new wave of monsters is headed our way. He didn't have a choice. Clutching his charred arm, he forced himself to stand. Forget the healing for now, we have bigger problems. He knew exactly what they had to do next. First priority is just getting out of this gate alive, Jiro said, even though his whole body was shaking. My eyes still work just fine. I will do whatever I can to back you up. Those words hit Hong like a truck, making him freeze in place. Can you just watch my back for a bit? Jiro didn't care about his pride. He was literally begging to stay alive. I am counting on you, Hunter Hound. For the next while, Hound was a blur of steel against the monster horde. Now the Minotaurs were coming in armed to the teeth, but he wasn't backing down, meeting their weapons with his own blade. Within seconds, that massive stone hammer was nothing but dust. He didn't stop there, raising his sword high for the next strike. 100 slashes rained down on the giant beast. Without even glancing at the carnage he left behind, Hong just turned and walked away. Behind him, the monster was literally in 100 pieces. As he took on these massive threats, Hong actually started to feel calm. Suddenly, a shout echoed through the chamber, making him spin around. Hunter Hong, over here. Jiro scanned the room and gave a serious nod. Looks like that was the last of them. Then he pointed ahead. Look, over there. After all that grinding and fighting, the exit gate finally flickered to life right in front of them. The teleport gate is finally here, Jiro shouted, trying to hurry him along. This thing could vanish at any second. We have to get out now. Houng stepped forward and grabbed Jiro's arm, catching him off guard. Here, let me help you walk. You're in no shape to do this alone. Just like that, the two of them limped toward the exit. Jiro even gave him a pat on the back. Nice work out there, man. Hunter Hound was totally confused by the gesture. You're just gonna walk away like that? Jiro stopped to give him a serious explanation. Look, I really need to get these burns treated immediately. Hound didn't want to let it go. Come on, let me take you to a hospital. Since this happened because of me, I'll cover all the medical bills. But Jiro just shook his head. Don't worry about it. He added one last thing before leaving. It's just a scratch, I can handle it myself. In reality, Jiro knew exactly what to do. One quick mana potion and he would be good as new. Hallam watched him go, feeling incredibly conflicted about the situation. He didn't hang around a second longer, just turned on his heel. Anyway, I'm out of here. See ya around. The more Hallam thought about it, the less it made sense. Was Hunter Kim Jiro really just some weak guy with zero power? He silently watched the man walk away. I really thought he was just another hunter who was good at hiding his true stats. If I'd known, I would have offered to protect him from the start. He couldn't stop kicking himself for being so blind. How am I supposed to deal with this annoying feeling? A few days later, at the Korean Hunter Association, a voice broke the silence. Man, you really went through the ringer, a man said, pouring him a cup of tea with a friendly smile. The portal vanished without any warning. You must have been terrified. We are definitely going to get to the bottom of what happened in there. He added that he shouldn't stress about it too much. However, seeing Hallam lost in his own thoughts made the boss feel a bit uneasy, so he spoke up to investigate. Is there something else on your mind? Hong just gave a slow, quiet nod. Yeah. The boss nodded, saying he looked a bit pale. Hong felt super awkward but decided it was time to explain what happened. Actually, the next thing he said made the man jump in surprise. During the fight, an F-rank hunter got caught in the middle of my skill and was badly burned. His face shifted into pure disbelief. Wait, what? You're telling me an F-rank actually got hurt? The boss leaned in, looking for answers. Did you take care of it? You know, first aid, some backup, or maybe covering his hospital bills. He shook his head, looking totally defeated. I tried, but he shot me down. Then he started explaining how Jiro reacted. I offered to take him to the hospital, but he just said he'd handle it himself. The boss just stared back, completely speechless. So you just let him walk? He asked, looking totally confused. Did he demand some kind of private payout? Ha-Sung just bowed his head in silence. No. Sir. This left the boss deep in thought, processing the weirdness. He immediately whipped out his tablet and started scrolling through some data. Forget about that for now. We need to prioritize the victim first. Ha-Seong nodded, totally agreeing with the man's call. Right. But the boss was still itching with curiosity. What was that guy's name again? He spoke up quickly. Worried that the guy might start blabbing to everyone, Ha-Seong suddenly shook his head. I really don't think he's that kind of person. His eyes were dead serious, which was honestly pretty creepy. Ha-Seong's next words made the boss freeze in his tracks. This isn't just about your personal business. The boss was actually worried about everyone turning their backs on Ha-Seong. This mess could be used as an excuse to trash the reputation of an S-rank hunter. Society is already on edge with all these crimes, so bad press is a nightmare. As he said this, his expression turned deadly serious. If it were any other hunter, it'd be fine, but hearing those words made Ha-Seong start to feel genuinely anxious. If a national hero like Ha-Seong gets caught in a scandal, the public will be too stressed to even sleep. That's how much power you hold. While Ha-Seong was still figuring out his next move, the boss kept tapping on his screen. First, we are going to summon that person to the association. We'll keep this meeting as low-key as possible. As long as he keeps his mouth shut, we can settle this whole thing quietly. After thinking it over, Ha-Seong finally nodded. Yeah, he was right. We can't afford to let any drama break out now. On the screen was the file for Joe. A little later, all three of them were sitting inside a meeting room. Gio stared blankly at the documents in his hand. He looked at the two men in front of him with total confusion. Right now, he was getting seriously annoyed. Are you guys messing with me? Gio asked, glaring at the pair across the table. Are you kidding me right now? This totally caught the boss off guard. He scrambled to find his words. Is there something wrong with the terms? Gio was only focused on one line in the entire contract. After a long silence, the boss finally spoke up. Just give it to us straight. Ha-Seong wants to properly compensate you for those burns. He figured it all came down to cash. Is the settlement money not enough? Gio cut him off mid-sentence. It's not about that. He was disgusted by these two guys. Don't you people have any shame at all? I only survived because of Ha-Seong. Why would I even ask for compensation? Before they could even process that, he showed them his injury. See, the burn is already completely healed. It's totally fine. The boss looks super awkward. But we need to cover your medical bills and emotional distress. Gio just shook his head. I don't need any of it. This made Ha-Seong's face go pale. He quickly turned his head toward him. If you don't want money, what else? Gio was curious. Something else? He didn't hesitate to announce it. Like a ticket to a rare loot dungeon that our guild owns, for example. The boss forced an awkward smile. Gio, you mentioned you entered that B-rank gate just because you were curious, didn't you? He quickly made a new offer. We could send a professional escort team so you can survey high-rank gates safely, Or maybe a hunter squad to help you farm dungeons more securely. Listening to all this just made Gio feel completely speechless. What is wrong with these guys? He was confused by the boss's behavior. Why were they so desperate to shove him into a dungeon? I was the one who broke the rules and entered the gate. Getting hurt was my own fault. Then he looked back at Haseon's worried face. This guy is usually as cold as ice. Seeing him change his tune like this is super suspicious. This made him suddenly think back to his life before all of this. Based on my experience, people on Earth are never this nice without a hidden reason. Gio's mind was racing. Why are these people being so annoying about giving me money? He still remembered the terrifying face of Naji. This made Gio even more certain. Stay on guard around humans. He gave the two men a serious side eye. Was he already imagining the worst-case scenario? Are they planning to take me somewhere remote to finish me off? Not wanting his life to end just yet, Gio stood up abruptly. I'm leaving now. Ha Seong tried to stop him. Wait a second, Hunter Kim Gio. He spoke firmly. Look, I have been saying this for a while now. I don't want your money, and I don't want into any dungeons. Seeing this, Ha Seong panicked. Then at the very least, could you let us assign someone to protect you? He added a few more words to ensure Gio wouldn't get hurt again. Gio suddenly cut him off. Jang Ha Seong. His next words left him stunned. Look, everyone messes up. Getting hurt or making a mistake is just part of the deal. He was cold about it, shaking like a leaf over something this small. That is serious business. You know how weird you look right now? Those words left him completely speechless. A bit later, the guy sighed while staring at the contract. Did I leave some loophole? He comforted Haung. Don't sweat it. This whole chat is already recorded. Thinking back on it, he realized that move was actually pretty brilliant. Usually people play victim to extort some cash. Hong sat there, thinking, damn, that's true. Gio's behavior was a total mystery. Kim Ju turned down the money, the dungeon, everything. So what actually set him off? He replayed the scene and those words over and over. Ju was dead serious about it. Overreacting to something this tiny is just obsessive. Do you realize you look bizarre? Haung couldn't even focus on his surroundings anymore. Those words were on repeat. Is it really that weird? Cut to late-night BBQ. Staring at the sizzling meat on the grill, Yoon finally asked him. Confused? Gio nodded. I need some advice. From me? His eyes literally lit up. What is it? If it helps you out, I'll tell you everything. Jae looked awkward. The next thing out of his mouth left Yun dazed. Haseon's gonna kill me. His vibe flipped. Kill you? No way. He kept pressing. Just listen. I might not actually die. Gio sounded totally fed up. He wanted to settle it peacefully, but the kid wasn't hearing it. Haum wants you dead? What happened now? Should I flip the meat? Why talk about this while we are eating? He couldn't stop staring directly at the guy. Since you're a pro hunter, tell me, what's the deal with Dong Ha Seom? He's stunned. That was random. Yun Sheng couldn't believe his ears. You mean that Zhong Hong? What about him? He thought fast and shared his gut feeling. He is cold and dry. How do I put it? He's kind of like you. He then shared the story. Normally, he isn't the type to go around starting personal beef with people. To Yun Sung, Hong was talented, only losing his cool and clearing gates. His voice turned serious. I can't imagine Hong getting mad enough to actually kill. Besides, you aren't exactly the type of guy people would hate that much. He asked, maybe you were just misunderstanding something. Gio kept slicing meat, maybe. He wondered if he had overthought Hong's offer. Yeah, I think you're right. Gio passed the bowl of meat over to Yun Seung. A top ranker wouldn't waste time on an F-rank hunter like me. He laughed. Actually, for a hunter like Zhong Hong, that is a lot of pressure. Curious, pressure? He nodded, mentioning that BUL incident. Back then, it was one big, giant mess. After that stunt, the other side is definitely going to be watching you. Yun chewed on some meat. That is just how it goes when hunters clash, man. Humans aren't like monsters. They hide their power. This guy was definitely hiding something. Once the other side thinks that way, a fight is basically unavoidable. He thought about that assassin who picked a fight then bailed, thinking he was pro. Probably just overthinking. Then, Gio's phone buzzed, catching Yun's eye. He asked, surprised, what? You got a text? He grabbed the phone and replied, hold on. Seeing the kid's eyes shine, he stayed calm. What? You curious? The kid looked worried. Not really, huh? That. Gio showed him the phone. It's nothing big. Just some text from Kim Gio. If you haven't eaten yet, let's grab lunch. I know a fancy Korean spot that is seriously fire. Sorry, I am stuck with the cops right now. Then comes another text. Hey man, the weather's finally cooling down. Just thought of you, so I'm checking in. You eaten? Yeah, just finished. And finally, here is today's message. Hunter Kim Kiro, what are you up to? Have dinner with me. Sorry, grabbing BBQ with an old friend. Gio keeps explaining things to Yoon Sung. Look, it's just a check-in text, but after reading it, his eyes go wide. Hey! His voice starts to get all shaky. This person who sent the message, he stares at the profile picture on the text. I think the name says it is Shir. Yoon Seung still can't believe it. Is that really the Magic Tower Master? Geo nods and hides his phone. Yeah, she hits me up all the time. This totally blows his mind. What? You actually text with the legendary Shir. Cut to the Hunter Association. A voice suddenly shouts out. Wait, is it another Rankagate again? People are rushing around like crazy. Is there seriously no other guild left that can take the mission? The subordinate reports that both the Nell sisters and the Magic Tower have already deployed their main strike teams. This makes the high-ranking official super annoyed. He frantically pulls his phone out of his pocket to call. So there is no one else besides that hunter? Scene shifts, and we see recovery potions scattered everywhere. Rank A gate. Ha-Sung wipes the blood off himself. Got it. I am hitting the road right now. He gets serious. Start the car. Driver, let's go. This totally catches the driver off guard. Wait, what? You just cleared a gate and you are going again? He keeps talking. Dude, you have not slept in 40 hours. Ha-Sung stays stubborn. I am fine. He tiredly bows his head to catch a little bit of rest. Even with the blood, his eyes look totally bored. It is just going to be more boring splatter anyway. Cut to Geo's quiet place. Inside the room, he's looking closely at the potions he is trying to brew. Nice, perfect. The formula is clear. Thanks to today's trial, I have finally figured out the pain resistance brew. Geo looks at the bottle. Numbing all pain can be a problem. He worked hard to research this specific potion. He put in so much work. It only kicks in when the pain hits a certain level to neutralize. He sounds pretty happy. Now my body is finally getting back to the way it used to be before. Geo remembers being consumed by the flames. I never want to feel that burning sensation ever again in my life. Thinking about it makes him shake. He sighs and stands up, telling himself that this kind of data is not worth collecting. Suddenly, he senses something is off. It grabs his attention immediately. Geo looks outside and sees a weird red light. Cracks appear in the ceiling as an earthquake hits. He is totally confused. What? He quickly puts his hands up to steady himself, wondering what is going on. What is this? Screams erupt outside. Everyone evacuate. It is dangerous here. This gets his attention fast. He does not hesitate and runs outside. What the hell is actually going on out there right now? The more he thinks, the less it makes sense. What is this? The red sky and destruction leave him frozen. He realizes something is very wrong. Did this whole building just get blown away like that? Geo looks around. Giant monsters are appearing everywhere. This is a massive dungeon break. So Geo starts evacuating with the civilians, potions, bracelets, incense, mirrors. What do I need to survive? Maybe just the magic tools will do. He remembers something and checks his phone real quick. Geo looks disappointed. Why is there no signal? Right then, more screams come from the crowd up ahead. Is nobody's phone working? I cannot reach my family. People are starting to panic. Is the network just overloaded because of the chaos? While he is thinking, a scream rings out. Run for your lives! Monsters are hunting down the poor citizens. Monsters, one unlucky guy gets snatched up by a beast instantly. He is dragged into the sky, screaming in despair. Help me! Get away from here! Where are the awakeners? Call them now! Seeing this makes Geo grit his teeth and bolt. Damn it, he has no idea what to do next. Where should I even run to right now? He sees everyone gathering ahead and gets confused. There, do humans use the subway as emergency shelters? Security guards are blocking the way. Get back. If you go any further, it is going to be dangerous. The crowd is losing it, screaming. Let us in. You really gonna leave us out here to die? Ju stands there, shell-shocked. There is no way inside. He is scanning for an exit. But honestly, if the monsters do not get him, this frantic mob is going to trample him into the pavement first. Suddenly, it hits him. Going solo is the only way he is making it out alive. He freezes, staring up at the swarm of monsters circling the sky like a total nightmare. Jiro tracks their energy, analyzing the mana flow to find a blind spot. If he stays quiet, maybe these beasts will not catch his scent. He starts creeping forward, taking one slow, shaky step at a time. That mana signature is one he knows all too well. He does not hesitate for even a single second, turning and bolting toward the energy flare as fast as his legs can carry him. This is not a hallucination. He is right here. Hong drives his blade through a monster with zero mercy. He stands among a mountain of hundreds of shredded monsters. The dude looks absolutely wiped, like he is running on pure fumes. Jiro spots him and exhales. It is really him, Zhang Haung. He ducks behind some rubble to watch from the shadows. An S-rank hunter just dropped in while the world is literally crawling with bloodthirsty monsters. His eyes gleam. I am basically a pro at playing Parasite, he thinks. But then, Ju notices something is way off with the guy. Wait, Haong is acting weird. Why is his mana flickering like a broken light bulb? The hunter stands frozen while monsters swarm above. His gaze is going blank, like his brain is just checking out of reality right now. Everything is spinning. He cannot even tell the monsters from the trash on the street. Is his head totally messed up? Close the gate, then again and again. Hong is hitting his absolute limit, but the world is still falling apart around him. This is totally a set-up, man-made terror. He stands there, hopeless, watching the monsters charge right at him. Who would do this, and why? He remembers the Magic Tower president is out of town and out of reach. There is no backup coming. The monsters see him lagging and lunge for the kill, but he snaps back and glares them down. Hong grips his sword one more time and deletes dozens of flyers with a single, massive strike. He just has to keep it together for now. Their carcasses rain down on the pavement. He uses these few precious seconds to catch his breath, but he is running on empty. With shaky hands, he digs through his bag for some recovery meds. He looks at the near-empty bottle and feels like trash. Then, a desperate scream cuts through the chaos. Please, somebody save me. He spots a guy pinned under a pile of heavy rubble. It is a survivor. Hong does not think twice and rushes over to the poor guy. Do not move, he yells. I am getting you out of this junk. He heaves the massive rock off and asks, Hey, you all right? Talk to me. The guy is whimpering. My legs are crushed. Please, just help me up. Hong sighs and reaches out to the man. Grab on. He hoists the man up, thinking to himself that the comms towers must be totally dead by now. He goes to call the G staff for an evac, but then he feels a chill and cuts his eyes toward the stranger. Wait, it looks like the guy knows exactly who he is. You are the legendary Hunter Hong, right? The #1 ranked hunter? Before he can even blink, the man lunges and wraps his hands around Hong's throat. Hong is stunned, totally confused. But in the next heartbeat, his face goes from shock to pure dread. The guy is holding a live bomb. Hong never saw this coming. It is a total trap. A suicide bomber. The blast rocks the entire street. Even from way back, Ju nearly jumps out of his skin. He looks toward the smoke. Seeing Hong collapse in a pool of blood makes his heart sink. Hunter Hong. Chapter 54. The street is total chaos now. Hong is on the ground, shaking and barely hanging on. He is in a world of hurt. He drags himself across the dirt, thinking, I let my guard down. Blood is staining the pavement a deep red. Was this whole attack just a hit job on me? I am always a lone wolf. That makes me an easy target for these psychos. He grips the med bottle. Were all those recent dungeon breaks just a setup to drain my mana completely dry? But his hands are shaking too hard to even open the cap. Hong finally collapses, slamming back into the dirt. His vision is fading to black. Through the haze, he sees Jiro sprinting toward him. Jiro checks him over, looking panicked. Man, this wound is looking really bad. Like, really bad. Jiro digs through his pack. Thank God I packed the first aid kit. He sighs at the mess. Hang in there, Hong. Finally, managed to pull out a potion. Honestly, without it, you would have been a goner. Loud noises kept echoing everywhere. After a long minute, Hunter Ha Seong finally opened his eyes. Gio gave him a serious look and asked, You finally awake? You still able to move? He sat up, totally shocked. Seeing Gio made him wonder, why was he here instead of running? He explained, I was looking for an exit and just happened to find you lying there. Ha Seong remembered something and yanked out a shirt. Use this towel and put this on. This ugly shirt left Ha Seong speechless. Nothing else? Then he realized something was off. Wait, what? He looked at his healed body. You used a potion on me, right? Gio kept digging through his pack for other shirts. Yeah. He felt even more confused now. Insane. What kind of potion heals deep wounds that fast? Ha Seong didn't forget to speak up. I'll definitely pay you back. How much was it? Gio's expression suddenly got a little bit weird. He brushed it off. I got it for free, so I don't know the price. He remembered Trang Ho. Just then, a noise caught their attention. The radio buzzed, asking for an immediate response. ETV headquarters. 3 A-rank monsters. The radio kept repeating, 3 A-ranks at ETV. Ha Seong grabbed the radio and reported, Dion Ha Seong here. I'm on my way. Gio just stood there. What? He couldn't believe his ears. What did this lunatic just say? He quickly yelled a warning. Hold on, Hunter Ha Seong. His actions made no sense. Where do you think you're going? You can't be moving like that now. He turned around shocked. Huh? Gio explained it seriously. Your lungs were shredded in that explosion. Only quick treatment saved you. You need total rest. Your lungs just healed. If you use mana now, you'll have permanent damage. But he didn't care. Thanks for the tip. But he was already gearing up for the next fight. No other choice in this mess. Gio stood his ground. You're really using magic like that. He panicked. For a mage, how important are lungs supposed to be? He even threatened him. Do that, and you'll have permanent injuries. Ha Seong just grabbed his sword. I'll take that risk. Jiu thought angrily. Stubborn jerk. Kim Ji-hoon, people are literally dying. His voice got serious. No time. If I don't move, innocent people are going to die. Gio suddenly asked. So what? Ha Seong turned around, annoyed. What did you just say? He shot back without hesitation. So what? It's not your fault. He was still totally stunned. You call that a reason? He kept criticizing him. That's their problem. You're not the only hunter. Gio just spoke his mind. Just for today, you can let someone else handle it. Ha Seong sighed. After this, I'll rest. He grabbed his sword and walked forward. Get out of my way. Gio didn't hesitate and reached out his hand. He blocked his path directly. I'm not moving. Ha Seong's face started to turn really dark. Stop. I'm grateful for the help, but if you keep this up, you're just getting in my way, he thought. Talking to him is like talking to a brick wall. This hero complex is totally insane. He looked at Ha Seong. He knows how bad he's hurt. Is the association really forcing him like this? His gaze turned to pure contempt. I've seen too many talented kids trapped in this delusion. While Gio was lost in thought, Ha Seong walked past. I was like that too. He was ready to sacrifice himself for everyone. I don't have time to argue anymore. As he walked, he warned. Last warning. Do this and your lungs are toast. You'll regret it for life. He looked back, totally confused. The warning in his voice sounded like he was looking down. An F-rank guy giving me warnings? Honestly, it's pretty hard to take you seriously. What can someone your rank even do? Anyway, I'm going. He pulled some chains from his pack. Ha Seong turned away slowly. We'll talk later. Something was thrown, making him jump. Ha Seong's face was pure confusion. Luckily, he reacted just in time and drew his sword. He finally slashed that thing into two pieces. The wreckage dropped fast, slamming into the hard ground below. Ha Seong spun around, face twisted in rage. What the hell do you think you are doing? Suddenly, his legs turned to jelly. His own body was betraying him. He just could not hold on anymore. Ha Seong hit the floor in total despair. Jiro watched, grinning like a maniac. Yes, finally, it worked. This junk is usually for B-class hunters, but I tweaked it to take down a big-shot S-class like you. His voice echoed through the air. Sorry, Hunter Ha Seong, but this is for your own good. Something felt off. Jiro squinted, spotting a weird piece of jewelry on the guy's hand. That ring looks new. Never seen that before. Did you pack an anti-sedative device after getting played last time? Smart move, but useless. Seeing him face down, Jiro sighed. All that prep, and he still fell for the same trick twice. He's gonna be pissed. Jiro walked over. Dealing with him later is gonna be a total nightmare. I had to do it to keep you alive. I did not have another choice. I cannot just watch a talented mage destroy his own lungs like this. I refuse to sit back and let that happen. That painful look on his face reminded Jiro of his own past. He stepped closer and carefully picked the guy up. So heavy. Jiro looked at the sleeping face and sighed, complaining non-stop as he carried him away on his back. I am way too nice for my own good. Scene cuts to the city hospital. Doctors and nurses just stood there, staring at each other. On the bed, Ha Seong was already screaming his head off. His face was flushed with pure, unadulterated rage. That jerk. Rewind 24 hours earlier. Everyone was frozen in shock as the medical staff tried to make sense of the chaos. What exactly happened here? They asked, stunned. The famous Hunter Ha Seong is in this kind of condition? Jiro shot back. Do I really need a full story just to check him in? No accident, no injuries. He casually explained, I might have used a sleeping item on him. Now he is out cold. The medical staff nearly jumped out of their skins. You drugged the #1 S-class in Korea? Jiro asked if he could rest here. The staff whispered, Who is this guy anyway? Maybe he is someone dangerous? The nurse gave a forced, awkward smile. Yes, of course. Thinking about it made Ha Seong so mad his knuckles turned white. What was that F-class loser even thinking? His voice was dripping with anger. The guy who brought me in, is he gone? The nurse nodded quickly. Yes, he left. They also reported that the dungeon break you were worried about has been completely taken care of. You have been out all day. Ha Seong froze. What did you just say? He still could not believe it. A whole day? Memories of fighting those monsters came rushing back, leaving him totally shaken. Everything was going to hell and I slept through an entire day. His face went totally blank. Just how strong was that sedative he used to knock me out like that? Ha Seong looked at his hands, devastated. While I was dreaming, who knows how many people died because I was not there to help. The story slowly unfolds. My nightmare always starts with being late. The day I accidentally overslept and missed my morning classes. That was the day tragedy struck. A dungeon break killed every single one of my friends. I have replayed it constantly. Ha Seong ran toward the rubble, desperate. Guys, if I had just been at school with you that day. He searched for any familiar faces, my friends, my teacher. If only we had faced those monsters together as a team. Tears streamed down his face. If I had awakened my S-class powers back then, could I have actually saved everyone? Could I have protected my friends? Years later, I finally awakened as the very first S-class hunter in all of South Korea. Life as a hunter was not half bad. Even though being a top-ranked hero felt weird, the job itself was actually pretty easy. Everyone looked up to me, confident, proud. I thought I finally had it all. And then, just when those old wounds were starting to heal, it happened all over again. A cheerful voice rang out. "This is delicious." The woman smiled at Ha-sung, saying she eats well because of him. He happily replied, "Eat as much as you want, Mom." Right then, his phone started ringing, grabbing his attention. He quickly reached for it and answered. "Hello, this is Dong Ha-sung speaking." A voice came through the line. "Sorry to bug you on your day off, Hunter Ha-sung, but we just detected signs of a dungeon break near Hongno." He caught sight of the rift and froze in surprise. "What rank is it?" The staffer started to explain the situation. "Rank B, got it." Ha-seong thought to himself, rank B is a piece of cake. He started scouting the area. How much time before the dungeon break? The guy on the line sounded frantic. Probably about 24 hours left. Nobody knew exactly what triggered a dungeon break back then. He slammed his hand down, saying we just need to clear this whole thing by tonight. Ha-seong's mom looked totally lost. "You have to leave right now?" He just shook his head and said, "Do not worry, Mom." He flashed a big confident smile. "I still have time to finish my meal before I head out. I honestly thought it would be fine." After finishing his food, Ha-seong set his ice cream down. He checked his watch and gave her the news. "Mom, I really gotta go." Ha-seong added one last thing. "I am going to call a taxi to come pick you up right now." His phone kept buzzing, so he finally picked up. "Yeah, President, what is the big news?" Then his face suddenly went pale as reality hit him. The dungeon break was already happening. When Ha-seong arrived, the place was a complete disaster zone with ruins and bodies scattered everywhere across the street. The survivors were absolutely terrified and begging for their lives. "No, stay away from me. Please do not come closer." The monsters were closing in on him, ready to tear him apart. Their eyes glowed with pure, concentrated evil and bloodlust. They lunged straight for the poor guy. Since he was just a regular human, there was no way he could dodge their lethal strikes. Ha-sing rushed onto the scene to try and stop the carnage. He started throwing heavy punches directly into the monster's thick hide. Finally, he managed to rip the beast body clean in half. The monster's corpse just lay there, twitching and squirming on the bloody pavement. Ha-seong stood there in silence, staring at the carnage. He started getting a bad feeling that something was seriously wrong with this place. The man from before was trembling and begging, "Please save me." Ha-sing rushed over to him, yelling for him to just hang on a little longer. His voice was getting frantic. "I have a recovery potion right here," but it was already way too late for the poor guy. The man died right in front of him, leaving him frozen in shock. That was when Ha-seong realized just how badly he had messed up. This is not good. If I had just arrived a few minutes earlier, I could have saved every single one of them. I was way too careless and slow for just a second. The sound of people wailing filled the air. Oh God, my poor baby. So many people would never see their loved ones again. What used to be a happy family was now shattered by pure grief. If only I had moved the second I got that phone call. Ha-seong stood there listening to the consequences of his own delay. He shut his eyes tight, drowning in self-blame. If I had just stayed sharp, none of this would have happened. It is all on me. The nightmare made Ha-seong bolt upright, wide awake. He stared blankly at the unfamiliar ceiling. Was that really just a bad dream? He sat up slowly, wondering when the heck he had even fallen asleep. That dream was seriously haunting his mind right now. Ha-seong felt that suffocating pressure again. His eyes looked worn out and deep in thought as he processed everything that happened. When I am just living as a dungeon-crawling machine, my emotions rarely get this worked up. He quickly ripped the IV needle out. It has been a long time since I felt this kind of rage. After remembering everything, Ha-seong slowly swung his feet off the bed. He hurried outside with a look of pure annoyance in his eyes. "Kim Jiro, I am definitely going to settle the score with that guy. Gangnam Gym Disaster Relief Shelter. This is an official announcement from the Dungeon Relief Command Center for all displaced citizens." A relief worker grabbed the megaphone to give an update to the crowd. "If you are here for water or lunch, please bring your identification to the distribution zone." His voice boomed. "I repeat, have your identification ready." Inside a cramped tent, Jiro finished off his meal. He looked around the tiny space and started thinking to himself about the situation. They claim they are providing temporary housing for everyone who lost their homes. Pretty interesting stuff. He reached over to grab his smartphone. The landlord said rebuilding would take a while, so I guess my magic research is going to have to stay on hold for now. That thought left Jiro in deep reflection. Oh well, I will just focus on gathering intel about Earth during all this downtime. Seeing the incoming call made him tilt his head in confusion. A pretty annoying thought started bubbling up in his mind. What does this guy want now? He picked up anyway. Hello. Suddenly, a voice crackled through the line. Greetings, Hunter Kim Jiro. Do you have a minute to talk? Jiro nodded even though she could not see him. Yes. Hunter Sun Gujin. Did they finally catch that attacker? Yuan's expression turned dead serious on the other end. No, that is not even the main issue right now. She blurted out a question. What the hell did you do this time? He still had no clue. Wait, what are you even talking about? She kept bringing up the name Zhang Haseong. Yuan did not waste any time filling him in on everything that had gone down earlier. That guy stormed into the association this morning, acting like a total lunatic and demanding to know where you live. It looks like whatever Jiro did has Haseong absolutely livid. His eyes were totally wild and crazed. She kept going, detailing the whole chaotic scene. I got chewed out because he won't drop the retake stuff. Left me totally speechless. Should have known. Gio sighed heavily. He had prepped for this when he knocked the guy out, but thinking about how terrifying Ha Seong is makes him clueless about what to do next. He already knows my number, so why did he run to the association just to ask for my address? Does he really want to come beat me up himself? He snapped. I will explain everything later. Anyway, is Ha Seong actually at the association right now? Yuan nodded in agreement. Yeah, right. Ju did not hesitate for a second before deciding. I am headed over there right now. He quickly reached out and killed the call. Better to end this drama before it gets way worse than it already is. His face was full of pure anxiety. Honestly, I am just not great at handling this kind of mess. Jiro did not forget to prep for his next move, though. How do people on Earth even apologize? The next ways to say sorry involves some seriously awkward and ridiculous poses. Bow down, heads down. Kneeling while bowing, the scene shifts to the back gate of the Hunter Association. Yuan watched the scene and could not help but think it was totally insane. She froze when she saw Ha Seong standing right there. What on earth made him this livid? She was so confused, sweat just poured down her face from the stress. He said he would handle it himself, but is that even possible? Anyway, when is the other guy finally getting here? Something caught Yuan's eye. The taxi door slowly creaked open, and a very familiar pair of feet stepped out and started heading their way. Seeing Jiu show up left Yuan totally stunned. Kim Jiro just gave her a nod as he walked up. Hunter Gujan whispered urgently, Quick, explain what happened. His face remained dead calm as he continued to walk straight ahead without a single word. I knocked Ha Seong out yesterday. She thought she misheard him for a second. Wait, what? Ju acted like nothing had even happened. It is what it is. He gently placed a hand on her shoulder to calm her down. Do not worry, I will figure it out somehow. Watching from behind, Yuan was still feeling pretty anxious about the whole thing. Please do not tell me this is about to turn into a bloodbath. She could only watch. Normally, both of them are pretty chill people. Gio kept walking forward with a calm face. He hoped they would just talk it out, but seeing him appear only made Ha Seong's mood turn from bad to worse. He drew his sword without a single hesitation. His eyes burned with pure rage. The situation made Yuan freeze instantly. She had not even seen Ha Seong draw his blade until it was out. She realized with shock that Ju had bowed to Ha Seong. Wait, did he actually just dodge that? Seeing the situation, he slowly lowered his sword to his side. I was just testing your skill level, but I really did not expect you to dodge it so perfectly. His voice sounded a bit confused. Who the hell are you, anyway? Ju stayed silent, but inside, he was absolutely terrified. I almost died just now. If I had not bowed and apologized immediately, it would have been game over for me. He flashed back to what he read on his phone. If I had not bowed the second I saw him, I would be dead. Goodbye, cruel world. Jiro hurriedly waved his hands to stop the madness. Calm down, Ha Seong. He took all the blame on himself. I am really sorry. I only came here to apologize for everything. Ha Seong's face was still livid. If an apology could fix everything, then what is the point of having laws in the first place? He thought it sounded reasonable enough, but he still tried to explain. Look, you know I did not do that on purpose, right? He quickly added, I was honestly just worried about your health. Ha Seong's eyes were still full of doubt. Why on earth should I believe a word of that? He kept staring at Jiro with judging eyes. Out of nowhere, you just knock someone unconscious, like it is nothing. To me, you are no different from a terrorist. This made him think desperately. This is exactly why I had to knock you out, man. He kept interrogating him. Be real with me. Do not you have some other motive for this? Hearing that, Ju's attitude finally started to shift. Actually, I am the one who should be asking about your motives. He stared him down coldly and asked, Why are you always in such a rush? Before he could answer, he judged him immediately. I saw online that you break dungeon closing records every single year. His gaze was icy as he looked at him. It means you are working non-stop in those dungeons without any rest. He kept critiquing every single thing that Ha Seong had been doing lately. You hand over all your dungeon loot to the government like a fool, keeping absolutely nothing for yourself at all. You do not even rest when you are sick. It makes zero sense. Why are you so addicted to hunting monsters? What is the harm in taking one day off? Ha Seong's face twisted into a truly terrifying smile. Let's be real, the vibe shifted fast. Korea won't collapse just because you took a break, so stop overdoing it. That is what you mean, right? He was completely stunned. The guy just stood there, firing off more questions. Could you say that to the families of victims? That they died just because I did not show up? Realizing things were going south, Jiro started panicking. No way this jerk is listening. He's picking apart every word. Ha Seong looks like he's about to blow a fuse. Let's see how long you stay relaxed. Hunter Kim Jio keeps pointing and judging you like a total clown. You think this ends as a simple assault? Someone like you doesn't deserve to be a hunter ever again. That news hits Ju like a train. Wait, what? Sweat starts pouring down his face like crazy. What do you mean? Why can't I be a hunter? He's spiraling into despair looking at Ha Seong's terrifying face. Don't tell me he's planning to kill me. But actually, Ha Seong is thinking something completely different right now. This guy is a criminal mastermind to fake his re-exam. I better lock him down before he tries to run. With that thought, he slowly steps forward. The movement sends Ju into a state of pure panic and confusion. With his brain overthinking everything, he gets even more anxious. Why is he getting closer? What's the move here? Is he going to kill me right here? He clutches his head, desperate. He's actually going to do it. I'm a dead man. Ju's mind goes completely blank, totally unable to think. What am I supposed to do now? His whole body is shaking from terror. Think, man. Suddenly, Ha Seong's voice rings out, making him jump. This is just how hunters fight. He remembers Yoon Sung's advice, unlike monsters, humans can hide their true power. Those words feel like a lifeline pulling him out of this absolute mess of a situation. When your opponent is like this, a fight won't break out easily. Ju's palms have been clenched this whole time. Right. Without a second of hesitation, he screams at the top of his lungs. Get it together. Ha Seong. The scene leaves all three of them frozen solid. Ha Seong and Yuan are totally lost. Gio suddenly points his finger straight ahead, acting like he owns the place. He declares without a single doubt, "You're way too weak." That line shuts him down instantly. Yuan stands there, totally unable to believe what he just heard. Not done yet, Gio keeps roasting him. Jung Ha Seong, you really think you're that special? You're just another guy. He's just winging it. Even if you let your guard down and get hit by an F rank, is that your level? Hearing this, Yuan's face goes totally pale. What? Are you saying everyone's lives are supposed to depend on a guy like you? Jiro doesn't care about the people watching and just keeps laying into him with the heavy criticism. Stop talking trash. Korea won't collapse without you, and even if it did, would that really be your fault? Even though he's desperate, he thinks if I want to live, I have to act strong. I'll make myself look even stronger. That's why he keeps telling Ha Song you're totally delusional because everyone treats you like a legendary hero. In my eyes, you're just an ordinary 20-year-old kid who hasn't seen the real world yet. Ha, Seong's face gets more serious. Stop pretending you're special. Sweat keeps dripping. Is that enough yet? If I keep roasting him, he might snap. Time to pull out the carrot and play nice for a bit. He speaks up again, directing it at Ha Seong. Look, man, do you realize how unstable you look right now? Before he can react, he drops the bomb. You're obsessed with these gates and pushing yourself for absolutely nothing. Jiro sticks to the script. Honestly, I see that as a major problem that you really need to deal with. You look like you need therapy. Yuan is standing there totally confused. Wait, why did he just switch up his tone like that? He seriously reaches out and explains. You need a break. Being a hunter isn't a job for just one day. He's feeling pretty smug, thinking those were some gentle words. But Ha Seong looks even more annoyed now, making the air heavy with tension while Ju just stands there lost. Right at that moment, he finally starts to speak, his voice low and cold. Ju's mind is racing. Wait, why does he seem even angrier? Did I go too far with the trash talk? Ha Seong stands there and suddenly asks. So, in your eyes, I'm just some patient who needs help. Without another word, he just keeps walking forward. He brushes right past Ju like he's not even there. That reaction makes zero sense. Huh, why is he acting like that? Uwon quickly yells out for Hunter Ha Seong. He gives a quick reply. Sorry, Hunter Seong Gujian. Both of them just stand there watching him walk away. Ju's face finally starts to relax as he thinks to himself about how close that really was. Wait, I didn't get punched? Does that mean the plan worked? I can't believe acting like a jerk worked. Knowing he's safe, he doesn't worry. That Earth Mage is way more naive than I thought he would be. This is a huge discovery. I need to keep up this act so Ha Seong doesn't spill any secrets. Lost in his thoughts, he realizes acting cool isn't hard. I just need to perform like a great mage. Her face was a total mystery. Like, what is it this time? He rushed toward her and called out, "Hey, Sung Gujun." Yuan's expression shifted. "Look, if you're trying to pay me off or keep me quiet, save it." He was still totally lost. "Wait, what?" She quickly cleared the air. "I won't tell a soul about what happened today. I promise." Gio just watched her, thinking it over. Is she actually worried about me? Well, I guess that makes sense. It is definitely not a good look if rumors get out about clashing with an S-rank hunter. He quickly replied, "If you say so, thanks." A forced smile flickered across her face. Remembering something, Jiro suddenly piped up. "So, you want to go grab a bite to eat or something?" A little while later, the streets were buzzing. Two students froze in their tracks, completely shocked by the scene right in front of them. Everyone was gossiping about Hansong. Meanwhile, he was stuck in his own head, replaying every single word that Joe had said. "Do you really think you're that special? Even if you were distracted, getting sniped by an F rank? Is that your actual level?" Those words were a total reality check. In my eyes, you're just a normal 20-year-old kid, so stop acting like you're so special. He sighed, feeling pretty drained. It had been a long time since anyone had treated him with that kind of cold attitude, but a weird smirk played on Han Song's lips. I mean, who actually dares to talk trash to an S-rank awakener? Seeing him blink left everyone in total shock. So cool. He suddenly remembered how everyone used to worship him. The more he pushed himself without sleep, the more they called him a true hero. He also recalled what the big shots told him. Apparently, the more S-ranks that get sacrificed, the safer the higher-ups feel. That must have felt suffocating for Hansong. Everyone just assumes that S-rankers are always totally fine. Day after day, life became a total drag. And then, they just kept forcing me into more and more gates. Hansong had to face a hard truth. Not a single person actually cared about his well-being. His eyes grew dark and heavy with thought. Then he remembered what Ju had said to him. "You always look like a total mess. You know that?" He even doubled down on the advice. "Honestly, I think that's the real problem. You look like you seriously need therapy." This left Hansong deep in thought as he kept walking forward. Right then, it finally clicked. He stood perfectly still, realizing how heavy those words were. He was being treated like an actual patient. As a leaf drifted to the ground, Hansong quietly replayed every single word. "You need to take a break. Being a hunter isn't a sprint." His face couldn't hide the sadness. Maybe those were the exact words he had been dying to hear all along. The scene shifts to a city diner as Jay's voice rings out. "Hold up, Hunter Sung Gujun, is that seaweed soup?" Yuan nodded and confirmed it was. "Yeah." Suddenly, his eyes narrowed with a bit of suspicion. "Is there beef in there?" She gave him a blank stare. "Probably." Deep down, she was thinking, this guy is so annoying. She watched Joe eat like he didn't have a care in the world. She suspected he was hiding something, but he wasn't really overthinking it. Beef? Man, I should have gone with the seaweed soup too. Thinking back to Jiro's argument with Hansong just made her more confused. Is he really on the same level as Hansong? I never thought I'd get to see a top-tier hunter fighting with my own eyes. She squeezed her eyes shut, completely lost in thought. How many more surprises is this guy going to drop on me? Suddenly, Joe asked a question. "Wait, Hunter Sung Gujun, aren't you supposed to be on the clock right now?" He was always the type to stick strictly to the schedule. He added, "I'm just worried that I'm wasting your time." Yuan shook her head and explained, "It's fine. It's just my lunch break." Remembering something, she suddenly spoke up. "Actually, there's something I need to discuss with Kim Jio." While he was still trying to figure things out, Yuan slowly set her chopsticks down on the table. "About that guy who attacked you and tried to kill you at the park? Real talk, catching him is going to be tough." Her expression turned dead serious. "Regarding that name you gave us, Baekjuni, we can't verify his identity. It's most likely just a fake alias. We even tried to track the rare items he was using." Yuan sat there and spoke softly, but we still couldn't find the suspect's trail. "I am really sorry." Jiro took another bite of rice and replied, "Look, this isn't your fault. You don't have to apologize." Yuan's next words grabbed Joe's attention immediately. "But I do have some good news for you." She quickly pulled out her phone to check something and explained, "You and Hunter Hansong were trapped in a gate recently, weren't you? We finally figured out who was behind all of that. It seemed like she had uncovered something big. We recently picked up a lead on a terrorist organization." Hearing this, Gio was instantly curious. Terrorists? He was still trying to process all this when his phone suddenly buzzed. A new message popped up on the screen. "Have you ever heard of the Naqian Temple before?" Reading the text left him totally confused. This Naqian Temple place? He'd never even heard of it. He stared down at the incoming texts. Those terrorists are part of some whack fake cult. They call themselves the Believers of the Nactran Temple. Joe looks suspicious as hell. Why is she even sliding into my DMs with this drama? Yuan leaned in and whispered, those guys use stealth skills, so we gotta be extra careful. She did not waste a single second, spamming him with everything she knew. Some foreign players might be involved, so we are watching their every move like hawks. They are scattered all over the place, making a clean sweep nearly impossible. Gio locked in and finished reading. I also heard these losers have been popping up in other cases lately. A guy like Kim Gio probably has nothing to worry about, but seriously, stay safe. He finally texted back just 3 words. I got it. After replaying everything in his head, his expression turned into a deep, brooding stare. But for real, even with all this info, he kept flashing back to that bloody mess. Like, what does a terror investigation even have to do with me? Meanwhile, Yi Hui was acting all chill, staring down at the file folder sitting on his desk. He was holding the file on Joe and feeling way too cocky. No need to worry, right? Wrong. He had no clue he was already in the crosshairs of those terrorists. Chapter 58. 48 hours before that crazy cult plans a suicide bombing right in the middle of Hong. Cursing echoed from the inside, you son of a bitch. Naj coldly snapped at his goons. Hey, get that loser Ye Hui on the phone right now. The guy was absolutely losing it, screaming his lungs out and cursing. That pathetic little cult minion. He told us to call him once Dong, he is dead. That creep, lurking in the cloak. The guy wearing glasses just nodded and agreed. Yes, sir. He was absolutely fuming inside that room, screaming Ye Hui's name at the top of his lungs. The second he used that whack fake name, I should have known better than to trust him. Thinking about the mess he is in just makes him feel hopeless. That destruction bead he handed me just in case I ran into strength. Naj can't get that insane memory out of his head. Who knew that thing would blow up the whole sewer? What if I had used it while I was still down there? Just thinking about it makes his blood boil. That bastard. He tried to trap me in the sewers with strength. The 4-eyed goon rushed over to report. Boss, I got a hold of him, and he is on his way here now. Naj just nodded. Good. Naj's eyes were filled with pure hate. There is no way I'm letting that guy walk away alive. I am going to wreck those cult freaks. He slowly started walking forward. But first, I am going to tear that bastard Yi Hui limb from limb. A bit later, Naj was just sitting there, annoyed and waiting, until a familiar voice suddenly caught his attention. Yi Hui walked in all chill with a smile. I saw your message and came over right away. So, did the hit go well? He even had the nerve to give him props. You really worked hard. Naj's eyes went cold, and right there in Hound, he lunged forward to throw a punch. Luckily, Yi Hui managed to dodge just in time at the last second, but he still got clipped and slammed hard onto the ground below. He scrambled up and nervously asked what was going on. Naj just pinned him down. From now on, you only speak when I ask you a question. Just thinking about everything that went down makes Naj absolutely furious. What was the point of giving me that trash destruction tool? He looked totally confused. The destruction tool? You mean the red stone? Naj's eyes turned lethal and mean. Don't you dare ask me a question. Yi Hui felt a sharp pain as he realized he was getting wrecked. Once he chilled out, he snapped back. What's your problem? I was just following the leader's orders. Naj kept on blaming him, yelling that the thing blew the entrance to the sewer. He started stuttering, but the target is still trapped down there, right? That caught him off guard. What? Yi Hui just gave him a cold stare and asked a question. I mean, doesn't that pretty much guarantee the hit was a success? Hearing that, Naj's face twisted with pure rage. Or I would have ended up dead, trapped in the sewers with strength. He explained exactly what happened. The mission was a success. We blew the gate while Han was still inside. Hearing this, Ye Hui just looked totally confused. Wait, what? You didn't actually kill him? He kept asking. So you just blew the gate and left? Naj's temper totally exploded. So what? He walked closer and snapped. The guy is totally trapped in there because we wrecked the entrance, right? Yi Hui looked panicked and explained. Look, if he beats the boss in there, another exit is going to appear. After hearing that, he stood up and called it. Oh really? Well, that sucks. The mission to kill Strength failed. He looked totally shocked. What? But you promised you would get the job done. He made sure to remind him of that. After pocketing all that cash, Nej started losing his cool. You really think I wanted things to end up like this? He glared at him like he wanted to rip his throat out. Who knew that S-rank freak was hanging with Hound? You idiots really need to do a much better job with intel. The guy's voice was dripping with pure disrespect, making Ye Hui freeze. Damn those psycho cultists to hell. He lunges forward and grabs Yui by the hair. This is all your fault for rushing me. You get it? After a long silence, he slowly mumbles. We are not a cult. Main guy just stares at him, totally confused. Say what? His voice sounds super annoyed now. Unlike those fake religions out there, we worship the only true God. His words just make the crowd burst out laughing. You really think these dungeon shocks just happen for no reason? Lord Naya is testing sinners like us. Yi Hui keeps preaching without missing a single beat. Man, what a letdown. Failed again. Naj suddenly glares at him and snaps, "What did you just say?" He coldly claims that being stuck in a sewer is nothing for an S rank. He will kill the boss and escape. Guess this is your last chance, buddy. Hearing that, his whole vibe shifts. Oh, so what are you gonna do? He reaches out with a bloody hand toward him. Wake up, kid. Don't you realize your pathetic life is literally in the palm of my hand right now? Yi Hui sighs and declares you can never trust an atheist. The guy just stands there looking completely baffled. Before he can react, Yi Hui starts mocking him. You idiots don't even see how important we are. We were going to use cash to expand our influence, but maybe we should just stop here. He cannot take it anymore. Naju finally makes his move. This jerk. Sensing something is way off, his face starts to get really serious all of a sudden. He stares at his hands in shock. What? Why won't my skills work? A creepy smile slowly spreads across Ye Hui's face. Just now realizing something is wrong, he slowly stands up. Normally, you would have slit my throat the second you saw me. His attitude is a total flip from that weak act earlier. That would have been much faster and safer. So why did you hit me somewhere else? Hearing this, the guy throws a rage-filled punch. You son of a... But right before it hits Ye Hui's face, the fist stops dead. He just wears this smug, punchable grin. Why not just kill me instead of this slow torture? Turns out he knew everything. Deep in your subconscious, you know killing me is strictly forbidden. He points over to the side. The two henchmen see it and jump, looking completely lost and confused. Their whole bodies start shaking as they scramble to grab something from their pockets. They all point their weapons at themselves. Naj witnesses the whole scene and freezes. He realizes his own lackeys are about to end their lives with their own knives. His face goes pale with pure disbelief. What? What the hell just happened here? A second later, all of Naj's goons commit suicide right in front of him. That is when he finally senses the real danger. This is a brainwashing skill. He whips his head around to look at Yui. This jerk is controlling my men. His expression shifts as he realizes his own body is moving against his will. His eyes burn with hatred. Yi Hui coldly steps forward. I am a humble servant of Lord Naya. He gives a sharp reminder. Did you really think you could hurt a holy body and just walk away to brag about it? When he turns around, his face twists into a wicked smile. Time to pay the price for your failure. Everyone here was slaughtered by Yi Hui because you are all sinners. He walks through the bloody mess, saying he had high hopes for your talent. But what a shame. It must be God's will. I should focus on the believers rather than relying on outside resources. He quickly pulls his hat back on, complaining that nothing ever goes smoothly for him. Yi Hui walks to the desk and picks up a file containing Gio's info. A strange, twisted smile starts to form on his face. Someone keeps interfering. The scene shifts to the next morning in the middle of a massive forest. Gio sadly tosses the dog's carcass onto the ground. He is exhausted and blaming himself for everything. I cannot even pull this off on an F-rank monster. He is baffled that his experiments on other beasts keep failing. So no matter how low the rank is, I just cannot control these freaking monsters at all. Small creatures like rats and birds are the absolute limit for this body to manipulate dead corpses. Yeah, he remembers that moment he ran into Hound deep inside the dungeon. If I had known about this before, I would have never entered that B-rank gate. The more he thinks about it, the more his head hurts. Why did Don Hound grab my collar back then? Realizing time is running out, he tells himself to stay calm. He keeps staring at the monster corpse on the floor. This isn't the only way to protect myself. In this world, people also depend heavily on their gear. Gio's face turns serious as he stands up. The only problem is he just breaks down and starts crying. I have 0 cash. Gio sinks into his own desperate thoughts. Okay, think. I need serious cash for a lot of things, and a new place to crash. This has me curious, but how do I get paid? He weighs his options, maybe some side appraisal work, but getting kidnapped again? Definitely not doing that. Gio whips out his phone. All right, time to pull the trigger. Maybe this is his last move. It feels like returning a favor with a grudge, but the universe is cold like that. Against his better judgment, he decides to play An Yun Sheng. Yun Sheng's voice chirps in, sounding way too happy. Yo, you good? He gives a nod. Yeah. Hey Yun Sung, you busy today or what? A bit later, at a downtown cafe, Yun Sung spots him and happily yells his name. Gio gives a quick, cool wave to say hello. I am here, looking surprised. You actually made it? I know you are swamped, but I had to call. He just laughs it off and shakes his head. It is nothing. He looks totally relaxed. Whenever you call me to hit a gate together, I am there. This has him thinking. This naive rank A has zero clue what I am plotting. Gio keeps running the numbers in his head, but Yoon Seung really needs this too. He finally speaks up. Yoon, before we hit that gate, I have something to tell you. No point wasting time. Jiro cuts straight to the chase. The spot we are hitting is a rank A gate called Gold Scent. The usual suspects? Guardian golems. Yoon Seung's face drops. Golems? He grabs his phone without a second thought. And today, I am letting you solo it. The news makes him freeze up. Wait, what? He starts panicking. How am I supposed to solo a gate at my level when I am still a rookie? Yoon Seung turns dead serious. Plus, it is a golem. You know the deal. He gives Gio a look that could kill. Golems are notoriously tanky, even for their rank. You know exactly what happened last time I faced them. Expecting the pushback, Gio keeps his cool and addresses Yoon Seung. He drops the lines he practiced. If you never face them, do you think this trauma just goes away? Real talk, if I put a golem in front of you right now, you would just freeze, right? To seal the deal, he adds more pressure. You are a hunter. What happens when golems start pouring out of a dungeon and into the real world? Yoon Seung goes quiet, his face twisted in deep thought. Part of this is for the cash, but it is pathetic seeing him waste his skills because he is scared. While he is still on the fence, Gio steps in. So, I am going to help you. It is a promise. Face your golem fear today. Inside, he is thinking you beat your trauma, and I get all the high-rank monster loot. He reminds him that anyone can take down a golem if they have a plan. Yoon Seung's eyes light up. There is a way? Gio points behind him. Let us head to the gate and bag one. Just one near the entrance. If it goes south, we can always bail out. Hearing that, he jumps into gear. He starts to speak. If you say so, but Gio already turned away. Great, let us register and get inside the gate right now. Suddenly, Yoon Seung pulls out his phone. But wait, man, he asks, looking totally confused and a little lost. If it is a rank A gate, they will not let you in with me. Gio reaches out. Let me borrow your phone for a second. He starts typing away, cooking up a bunch of fake info on the fly. Gio hands the phone back. Registered. Yoon Seung takes it, looking dazed. Dude, you know this is totally illegal, right? Gio's face goes cold. You got a problem with that? Just do it. Yoon Seung folds instantly. Fine, fine. He checks the screen. I guess we are going in? Scene shifts inside the gold scent gate. Yoon Seung is already geeking out at the view. Is this all actual gold? Gio plays it cool, but his mind is racing. Real or fake? Who cares? There's something way more valuable than gold waiting for us. Suddenly, he shouts out, Hold up. Yoon Seung looks over, surprised. What is it? Gio shuts his eyes tight. From now on, Gio senses everything nearby. He just needs to track the familiar mana inside this place. He tracks the energy flow pulling him forward. If I follow this, it leads straight to the source. As Gio moves, Yoon Seung scrambles to keep up. Gio quickly spots a narrow side path off to the edge. He keeps his poker face on. There it is, the Guardian Golem. Jiro had it all figured out. This mana-powered clay doll stepped inside, deep in his own head. No matter how I look at it, I still feel the tech from my home. Alpha Yuri. Beyond just golems, traces of Alpha Yuri keep popping up in these gates. He glared ahead, annoyed. Obviously, there is some new stuff here that I do not recognize yet. I am starting to figure out who made these gates. A new style, Jiro noted. Yun looked lost. What? Jiro shook it off and turned back. Forget it. You ready? He nodded firmly. Yeah, I packed some potions just in case. Jiro felt intrigued by the view. What is that? Yoon spoke up slowly. I borrowed it. He showed off a weird tool. Check it out. It is an item box for storing materials found inside the gates. Looking at the thing, Jiro was stunned. An item box costs as much as a condo. While Yoon Seung was still prepping for the fight, Jiro cut in with a thought. All right, one last thing, Jiro said calmly. I am taking the cores and mana stones in exchange for the pro info. We good? This news left him dazed. Cores and mana stones? The kid's reaction was awkward. Did I just sound way too greedy there? Sweat started dripping down his face. He quickly looked the other way. If I am using this guy, I need a major score. Suddenly, Yoon Seung spoke up. You are not greedy at all. He looked at Jiro with bright eyes for showing him the way. Take whatever you need. No time to waste, he declared. Let us go catch a golem, shall we? Yoon agreed. Yeah. They both stood before the massive golem. Jiro sized up the giant machine. A sentry. Looking closer, it was just a civilian security golem. He noticed the stone. Emergency stop via light. Jiro reached into his pocket. Knew this would happen, so I brought this. He whipped out the item. A laser pointer bought at Dow. Yoon was curious. What is that? Jiro pointed ahead. Yoon, see that round gem on the golem's chest? He nodded firmly. Yeah. Jiro pointed his pen toward the front. I will shine this light on it for 10 seconds. Just block him while I work. Easy, right? This made the kid confused. What? Jiro sounded sure. Like I said, 10 seconds. Get ready to fight. Yoon Sung already had his weapons ready for the fight. Jiro looked at the pen and thought, Yoon Seung can probably hold it off. Plus, I have protective gear now. He pointed forward. We have to hold this thing off for 10 seconds. Finally, the laser hit the golem's gem. Under the light, the monster's eyes suddenly flared up. It surged up, making rocks and dirt fall all around. Yoon Seung's face turned serious. He wondered if this would actually work. Seeing the chance, Jiro called it. The golem charged toward them, and he gave the order. Go in. Jiro aimed the laser straight at the golem's gem. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. He was nervous but stayed calm. The golem was fully losing it now. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Yoon Seung charged forward. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. The remaining time was quickly running out. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. The monster kept smashing everything. 2 seconds, 1 second. Finally, Jiro spoke up. It is done. The laser changed, catching the golem's attention. He gave a quick warning. Yun, back up. Yun nodded. Yes, sir. Looking at the giant, he calculated. If I match the light signal to the golem's emergency stop code like this, the monster stood perfectly still, as if something else was controlling it. Finally, its legs slammed hard against the ground. It could not move its body. Yoon Seung was stunned. That is its weakness, Jiro explained. I will tell you later, so do not try to copy me. The kid's eyes lit up. No way, how could I ever do what you do? Jiro just sighed. Actually, you probably could. No time to waste. All right, Yoon Sung, your turn. While Yoon Seung stands there looking dazed, Jiro reminds him this whole messy process is exactly what he needs to crush his past trauma. He steps up and stomps one foot onto the giant golem's hand. Grab this thing, Jiro snaps, turning back with a dead serious look. Now go wreck it. Hyped up by his mentor, Yoon Sung finally starts swinging that weapon. He pours every ounce of strength into a direct hit on the monster's massive body. You can see the pure, unadulterated rage burning in his eyes. Yoon Seung goes ham with the hammer, obliterating the giant monster's body. In just a few seconds, the entire thing is reduced to nothing but rubble. Jiro finally speaks up, asking, So, how do you feel? As he casually strolls up from behind the kid. Not so tough when you actually try, right? Thinking back on what just happened, Yoon Seung feels like he's losing his mind. This is insane. He stares at Jiro's back, totally stunned. How is any of this even possible? Meanwhile, the guy just keeps rambling on with his critique. The monster's basically been turned into a pile of junk. It all went down so fast that Yoon Sung is still processing it. How do you flip a golem with one hand gesture in 10 seconds flat? While he's stuck in his head, the big guy speaks up again. Yoon Sung snaps out of it quickly. Yes, sir. Jiro looks over at the kid and starts to ask him a question. Can you come over here for a sec? He nods and heads over. Sure. Once he gets there, he looks pretty confused. Is something wrong? Jiro pulls his hands out of his pockets. I'm going to teach you how to yank the core. He points to a spot on the golem. Right here. Stick your finger in this gap and pry it open a bit. Yoon Sung watches, totally hooked. Wait, like that? He sets his gear aside. Jiro stands right there, giving him the play-by-play. Press it down, then lift it up. He follows the instructions as fast as he can. Like this. Finally, the golem's body falls apart. Yoon Seung's eyes are practically glowing with excitement. That's awesome. Jiro nods, totally getting it. He doesn't miss the chance to explain a bit more, so the kid actually learns. Usually, the spot where the core sits has a pretty weak seal. Yoon Sung starts wondering how he can find the core that fast and accurately. He looks at the guy with pure respect. This isn't just about having a ton of hunting experience. This is something else entirely. Jiro just keeps breaking it down, mentioning that there are definitely some variations out there. But Yoon Seung isn't even listening anymore. He's just fixated on the thing in his hand. Understanding a monster requires endless experiments and deep research. He keeps looking at him with total awe. While other hunters are busy just smashing golems, this guy actually takes the time to dissect them. Yoon Seung clenches his fist, feeling the hype. Man, I'm seriously moved by this, sir. Everything Jiro does is just so impressive. Honestly, with his insane skill level, he could probably take down a golem without using any of these tricks. You went out of your way to find a new strategy, didn't you? He's totally geeked out over the guy's refusal to rely on basic awakening skills. Jiro's just speechless. Great, he's talking nonsense again. Explaining the truth would be way too much work anyway. Still, Jiro plays along. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. This only makes Yoon Sung worship the ground he walks on more. I knew it. You're on a completely different level compared to hunters who just coast on whatever luck they were born with. Jiro suddenly remembers something and looks back. So, You ready for more? Feeling a bit more confident now? He nods with a huge grin. You bet. Just leave it all to me. Jiro's voice gets a little bit shaky. I'll get the shield ready too. Realizing he's still holding the item, the kid quickly shoves it forward and says his piece. A short while later, golem corpses are crashing hard onto the ground. The entire area is now a total disaster zone filled with stone bodies everywhere. Yunsheng follows the plan and keeps laying into those monsters. The pile of monster corpses just keeps growing. He turns back with a proud look on his face. This is a piece of cake. I just smash them when they freeze and yank the core out. Jiro listens quietly while the kid brags. Seeing how things are finally getting easier, the guy lets out a huge sigh of relief. This run is going so well that it should definitely help him get over his golem trauma, right? Yunsung keeps talking. You were right. Their patterns are actually super basic. Jiro nods. See? I told you there's no reason to be scared, but don't get cocky. After that, he quickly walks over to the golem's remains to pull out the core for himself. The trick I taught you only works on this specific model. What's its name again? The kid pipes up instantly. The sentry golem. Jiro nods to confirm. Exactly, it's only for them. He keeps explaining the situation seriously while he goes to work on the core. If you ever run into a type you've never seen before, you better watch your back. Yu nods. Got it, boss. Realizing how much easier things are getting, the kid stretches out his arms. Finally, I'm starting to get warmed up. Jiro shoots a secret glance his way and thinks to himself. This kid, he's totally forgotten that everything we're doing is illegal. He keeps replaying the move he just pulled off in his head. We didn't register a private carrier, so this is straight up trespassing. If we get caught, we are basically criminals. But not really. Gio stepped toward the open space, thinking to himself while keeping a straight face. Honestly, I have a solid reason to feel confident this time. He looked at the monster core in his hand with a grimace. Gate appearances have been skyrocketing lately. He tossed the core into his box, a smug grin creeping onto his face as he planned his next move. They are seriously short-staffed when it comes to managing these gates. There is no way they catch us. Xian Gujan is definitely buried in work, the spatial box shrunk in his hand. This is exactly how illegal intruders like me get to run wild and have some fun. Jay suddenly called out to Yun Seng, his voice dripping with anticipation. Let us get moving. Is the next door the boss room? Yun looked totally bewildered. We are going in already? He wondered. Looks like we cleared out most of the regular mobs. Jiro felt a bit anxious. How do I trick this kid into making me more cash? He stood there, plotting his next move. It was time to use some serious brainpower. Suddenly, the vibe shifted, and Ju caught it instantly. Damn it. The entire ground is completely frozen solid. Before Ju could react, his legs were pinned to the frozen ground. Yun Sung yelled his name in a panic. Ju looked ahead, his face twisted in pure annoyance. Hell, sensing something was way off, he stared toward the gate, looking completely lost and confused. What the heck is this? Ghostly figures emerged from the gate. 3 people approached fast, and Jay started getting really worried. Who are these guys? 1 hour ago, at the Jumhyang Wild Gate, Yun asked coldly. Is everyone ready to go? Scarface nodded and spoke up. We are ready, but it looks like another hunter beat us to it. He looked thoughtful for a second and then said, I doubt any team would try. Golems are a total nightmare. Hearing that, Du Yun just spoke coldly. That makes it even better. He stayed incredibly calm and collected. If they clear the mobs first, we just jump them and snag the boss. Short Hair flashed an excited grin. So, we are stealing the boss. Discussion over, Du Yun declared. Today we represent the Enchant Temple, and we have one very important mission to finish. His voice echoed. No matter the cost, we need that boss drop from this dungeon. He was craving the exact same thing Jay wanted. The core of infinite power. Scarface nodded in agreement while Short Hair, standing right there, also spoke up quickly. Of course, we cannot let Father down. We have to make sure this mission is a total success. Du Yun kept staring at his phone screen. It looks like we just received a message from the Revelation. The texts from that anonymous call were all over the place. Gate status, 1 a rank hunter, and only 1 candidate. No carrier and 0 intel from our insider at the Hunter Association. Inside the dungeon, Yun kept his thoughts to himself. He was personally handling the Golem dungeon, moving deeper into the shadows along with his 2 shady companions at his side. This is definitely a surprise twist, but it actually makes stealing the boss a whole lot easier for us. Just then, Scarface realized something was wrong. He sounded totally shocked and confused. What on earth is this? He looked completely baffled. What just happened here? Short Hair stood right next to him, nodding along in total confusion. Something is way off. Right in front of them was a total disaster zone, with monster corpses scattered everywhere. Seeing the carnage made Du Yun turn dead serious. All these golems? Did he really take them out all alone? That speed is definitely not normal. He took off, running as fast as possible. We need to move now. Follow me. His two sidekicks nodded. Got it. In his head, he was doing the math. And Yun Sung went in an hour ago. Sweat was pouring down Do Yoon's face. Usually, he wouldn't even be halfway through. What kind of trick is he using? The more he thought about it, the more confused he got. He is right there. But who is that other guy? He finally spotted the two familiar figures. Seeing Yun Sung smile made him focus on Yun Sung instantly. Do Yoon quickly glanced over to the side. I have no idea who that guy is. Probably just some random nobody. Without hesitating, he reached out to take him down first. It looks like this guy is trying to plan something. While Yoon Seung is distracted, that is when I strike. While Ju and Yun were distracted, he launched a sneak attack. Damn it, Ju felt his legs get frozen in place. Do Yoon started laughing, feeling proud. Good. Yoon Sung looked back, and just like that, I am going to end him. Seeing the three of them show up, he just asked, What? Are you guys some kind of frogs? He sounded totally unimpressed. You guys are so stupid, it is actually a problem. Those words made Do Yoon freeze up. What? How is he this calm? Does he not even realize what is happening right in front of him? Yoon Sung points at Ju, acting all proud. You guys messed up big time. Of all people, you picked my brother. Those words leave the guy completely lost. He is staring like an idiot, wondering who this dude even is. Who the heck is this guy? Ju looks dead serious now. No time to waste. He is ready to strike while Do Yoon charges up his ice power for a total boss steal. Massive ice shards start appearing in mid-air. The whole scene has Yoon Seung frozen in his tracks. The temperature drops fast as a freezing wind kicks up. Do Yoon points down and coldly shouts, Just die already. Huge ice boulders fly straight at them. Jay screams, Yoon Seung, sensing things are about to get ugly. Yoon Seung just stands there like a deer in headlights, having no clue what to do. Luckily, he manages to pop a shield at the last second. They're safe for now, but Ju still looks pretty worried. Jiro catches the vibe. This is not good. Not good at all. The power gap here is massive. He glares at the three uninvited guests who just crashed the party. That ice mage is the only one on Yun Seung's level. The rest are rank C, but AoE skills are a nightmare. Yoon has zero offense. Yoon Sung starts coughing. Bro, I am at my limit here. Save me. Please. Please. Looking at this mess, Jiro is honestly speechless. He has no idea what his next move should be. What do you want from a rank F? I have my own problems. Ju looks around, totally confused by the guy. Wait, is that look for real? Is he saying he won't step in because his power is too dangerous to control? I can't get involved. With great power comes great responsibility. Yun Sung is totally buying into his own hype. Exactly. A strong hunter could accidentally kill someone with just one tiny slip-up. He is feeling super confident now. I gotta handle this mess on my own somehow. Do-yoon watches his ice crystals get slapped back and just stares. He is completely caught off guard. He glares forward, totally ticked off. More of those stupid ice shards start forming in the air again. The short-haired girl drops into a stance. Without a second thought, she bolts straight toward the target. In a flash, she is right behind Yoon Seung. He spins around, startled, but she is already swinging her weapon. Before she can land a hit, he slams her back with his shield. The girl hits the dirt hard, groaning in pain. Everyone else is just standing there with their jaws dropped. Do-yoon is starting to panic. What? And Yoon Seung? He can't believe the guy is still standing there. How is he totally fine after taking out all those golems? Sweat is literally pouring down Do-yoon's face. And why is that blonde guy just watching? Do-yoon stares at Ju, wondering if he is some hidden monster. One teammate is already down. He is starting to second-guess this whole plan. Stealing a boss usually works when the enemy is tired. If they aren't, this whole mission is a bust. He signals Scarface. We absolutely cannot let this fail. The guy reaches deep into his pocket, ready to pull out their secret weapon. Jiro notices and gets suspicious. A bag? The guy starts muttering some weird stuff under his breath. We need to bring back the core of infinite power. With that, Scarface chucks something into the air. Die! And Yoon Sung. The bag flies straight at him before he can even blink, and suddenly some poison powder hits him right in the face. He starts coughing like crazy. What is this? Ju is still trying to figure out what just happened. Is this a paralysis item? Yoon Sung is furious at the dirty trick and starts yelling at them. What the heck are you doing? Jiro realizes it's not paralysis. This is something much worse. He can't believe it. What is that powder? Suddenly, a massive explosion rocks the area, filling it with smoke. Jiro sprints forward. He finally figured out their twisted plan. These guys are freaking insane. A massive footstep shakes the ground. The real boss of this place is finally making an entrance. The Golem King is here. Jiro is stunned. Did they just use monster bait? Are you kidding me? A terrifying golem boss towers over them. The system confirms what they are looking at. It's a ranked golem. Ju is losing hope. This plan has gone way off the rails. It's a new golem model. Finding its weak spot will take time. Jiro spins around and yells for Yun Seung. The golem is locked onto Yun Seung. Move! Get out of the way! Everything is happening way too fast for him to react. A massive boom rocked the air. Luckily, he managed to dodge it just in time. This beast's raw power sent him flying back, and then a wave of frost started creeping across the floor right at him. Before Yun Seung could even blink, that ice shot up and pinned his arms and legs to the ground. He was totally stuck. He whipped his head around, totally blindsided. Damn it, Yoon had been pulling the strings from the shadows this whole time. That guy was wearing a twisted, evil smirk. One look at him and Yoon Seung felt a chill of pure terror. This golem boss locked onto him and charged. He scrambled to throw up a shield, praying it would hold against the impact. The barrier might buy him a little more time and hopefully soak up the worst of that monster's brutal attack. The beast wouldn't quit, hammering away at his defense. Yoon Seung just grit his teeth and held on for dear life. Seeing the chaos, Gio frantically searched his pockets. Crap, nothing. He stood there, staring at the useless bottle of meds in his hand. I brought him here to face his demons, but honestly, it feels like I am just making everything 10 times worse. He looked dead serious as the wheels in his head turned. I have to stop the worst case from happening, period. For the next few minutes, that golem just kept swinging at Yun Seung. It looked like the kid was finally hitting his limit. Sensing something off, he slowly looked back. Just then, some water started dripping down, and even the golem stopped to check it out. Out of nowhere, a strange glowing magic circle just appeared right in midair. Jiro was pulling the strings from a distance, and Yoon Seung finally spotted him. He was stoked, thinking his savior had finally arrived. Finally, the big boss is stepping in. That magic circle in the sky started shifting and glowing even brighter. A second later, a massive wave of water came crashing down. That golem just stood there, like a total idiot, looking completely confused. Yoon Seung was gasping for air, trying to get his head straight. Jiro yelled out his name, and Yoon snapped out of it. He gave him a quick heads up. That monster lure scent is totally washed off. You are not their main target anymore. Yoon watched the whole thing and was absolutely fuming. That total jerk, he spat under his breath, thinking to himself. I figured once I dealt with Anzun Seung, it would be game over. I definitely did not see this twist coming. Is he some kind of water user? His jaw literally dropped. Seriously, what kind of freak of nature is this guy anyway? I can't feel a single drop of mana coming off him, but it looks like the golem boss finally noticed something new. Du Yoon and Scarface scrambled backward, totally terrified. The boss had locked onto them instead, and they both realized they were in some seriously big trouble. Damn it. Usually, one golem would have been plenty, but now these two losers have 0 decoys left to use. Right then, Scarface started digging through his bag again. Damn it, he muttered, spinning around to make his next desperate move. Suddenly, Scarface hurled a vial of that nasty stuff forward. Jiro just stood his ground, not even flinching as it flew. He definitely didn't expect to become the new target for these two lowlifes. Du Yoon turned on him, yelling, "What are you doing? That stuff costs a fortune." The guy could only stammer out a really lame excuse. But the golem is staring right at us. Du Yoon snapped back that the guy's water magic would just wash it all away anyway. Out of nowhere, Yoon Seung shouted out, "Boss." He looked over at Jiro with eyes full of pure worry and panic. "Use your magic again, hurry up." But Jiro just stood there, staring down the massive golem that was coming right for him. His expression turned cold and serious, but deep down, he was feeling a level of total, crushing despair. He has another bag of that powder. Now things have gotten really awkward. I am completely out of mana for today, so there is no more water coming. Gio screamed at Yoon Seung to wake up. Use this chance to break free from that ice and get the heck out of there. This totally caught the poor kid off guard. At the same time, he spun around and bolted, realizing he had to outrun this angry golem boss. "Help me." The massive monster raised its giant stone fists high into the empty air. The golem started smashing everything in sight, making things even worse. All he could do was run for his life in total despair. "Help me." Watching the chaos, Scarface looked completely baffled. I do not get it. Why is he not just washing the scent away? That guy is freaking insane. He had absolutely no idea why the dude was acting like a total maniac. Is he actually trying to take on that boss solo? Yoon Seung just gave them a cold, hard look and turned his head back. You guys finally figured it out? Honestly, you should just consider yourselves lucky. A smug, proud grin spread across his face. You have no clue how much the big boss went easy on you. He is only holding back because he is afraid he might accidentally kill you. Their faces went pale as a ghost. They really needed to back off before they crossed a line they could not uncross. Meanwhile, Ju was hauling tail, running as fast as his legs would carry him. Just thinking about this mess made him feel totally hopeless. One single hit and it is game over for me. Jiro is still frantically dodging the golem boss. Luckily, its massive bulk makes it slow and clumsy at changing directions. Jiro lunges forward with everything he has. I have got to use this to break its line of sight and get out of here. Sensing something is wrong, he looks back. The beast stopped chasing and is just standing there. What is the deal? Is it ticked off because I ran too much? Before he can react, dark energy comes screaming toward him. Jiro glances back and realizes the situation. The terrain is literally warping under its command. The gate is changing shape. Is this its special move? Jiro is stuck. His only hope now is that Yoon Sung-an pulls through. What is Yoon Sung up to? Right now, he has finally broken free from that ice prison. Yoon is not letting up, dropping into a stance to attack. He spreads frost across the entire area. This catches Jiro's eye immediately. He looks ahead, his eyes filled with a sense of pure desperation. How am I supposed to run on this ice? If this keeps up, I'm going to be trapped here. The ground is reaching its limit and a chasm is opening. The golem glares at him with glowing eyes. He thinks it is the end. He is totally cornered. He let out a sigh, a sound that Yoon Sung noticed. After regaining his cool, Jiro sprints full speed right toward that massive golem. It is still looking at him like a snack. He does not care, because survival is the only thing that matters. The massive golem stands there, trying everything it can to crush Jiro. He eyes the ice under its feet. It is hollow. He starts crunching the numbers in his head. Moving straight and falling would be a disaster. His feet slip on the ice, and Jiro's face is stuck in total disbelief. Just like that, he is sliding across the ice with absolutely zero way to stop himself. The golem smashes the ice in a rage, shattering everything. Sweat is pouring down Jiro's terrified face. Damn, if that hit had landed, I would be history. Right then, Jiro notices something. He realizes what he just did. I actually hit it. While he is still celebrating the move, the golem slams its massive body into him. Finally, he feels a pain that cuts deep into his soul. As everyone watches, the monster slowly starts to collapse. Its massive body wobbles and crashes straight forward. Finally, it lies still on the freezing ice, unable to fight back. Its weight is so insane, the ground is crumbling. The boss golem falls hard from the high ledge. This was not in Jiro's plan at all. He is still standing there dazed, asking himself, what? No way, it is actually dead, right? Jiro thinks back to what just happened. The monster swung and missed while I was sliding, then I kicked its leg. It was standing on thin ice and lost its balance. Then it fell onto a weak spot and plummeted down. He looks deep in thought. I am the one who caused this, but it feels too crazy to be real. Suddenly, Jiro realizes that something is very wrong here. A massive ice crystal pops out of nowhere. His face is pure shock. He takes a step forward. No way. Jiro rushes into the newly open space like he is searching for treasure. He successfully pulls out a massive, glowing core. Looking at this loot, he is shocked. It is the boss reward. No way. Is it actually dead? He quickly spins around to look behind him. Wait, what about Yoon Sung? Yoon Seung and those two other guys are just staring at him. Yoon asks, what just happened? Time seems to stand still. All three of them just stand there, eyes locked on Jiro. Yoon Seung is totally impressed, looking at him with pure admiration. This is just straight up insane. He flashes a confident, admiring smile. In a split second, he found the weakness and made the golem trip. He thinks about how cool and collected Jiro stayed before landing the final blow. That is some high-level hunting right there. He did not even need skills to take down that monster. Meanwhile, the Scarface guy is also losing his mind. He cannot believe someone could take down a golem bare-handed. Jiro suddenly shouts Anyon Seung. He grabs the loot and signals him to hurry over. The gate is open. Yoon Sung hears him and sprints forward. Got it, boss. Yoon finally realizes something is not right. He looks panicked as he watches the two of them getting ready to bail. We cannot let them escape. Looks like Yoon has completely lost his marbles. I was pacing myself before, but we are straight out of time. Hentai quickly summons an ice magic circle. I need to grab that core no matter what happens next. Seeing the danger, Yoon Sung lunges forward. Bro, stay back. It is way too risky. Hide behind me. Gio just places a hand on his shoulder to stop him. It is fine. I am taking the lead this time. You are the one who needs to stay behind me, Yoon Seung. He has got a plan. It is not over yet, so he did not want to use this secret weapon. He stares at the mindless wreck Yoon has become. But with things getting this crazy, I do not have any other choice left. Thousands of ice crystals fly at them without a second thought, making Yoon Seung scream out in terror. Bro. Suddenly, Jiro thrusts that expensive mirror he bought straight into the air. A massive flash of light explodes, and those ice crystals just freeze dead in their tracks. Seeing that leaves Yoon Sung totally speechless. He stares at the ice crystals just hanging there in midair, completely frozen and not moving an inch. What is this? Why did they just stop? It is like time itself has frozen in this spot. What happens next blows his mind. The direction shifts. Those glowing crystals fly straight back toward Du-Yoon and that guy with the scarred mouth. Those two definitely did not see this coming. Du-Yoon gets absolutely wrecked by his very own attack as it slams into his body. Scarmouth is having an even worse day as more and more wounds start opening up all over him. While screams fill the air, Jiro stays incredibly chill. He just keeps his eyes locked on the mirror in his hand. Looks like this field test is happening way earlier than I planned. This is the reversal mirror that flips magic direction, but it only works on ranky attacks or lower. Ever since I first laid eyes on this thing, I have been totally obsessed with it. It was only meant for ranky junk, so I had to work my tail off to modify it. Jiro keeps watching as those two get completely frozen solid, but since the base was just a low-level magic tool, the durability on this thing is honestly pretty pathetic. Not wanting to waste any time, he quickly says, "Let us go. Yoon-seung, we need to report these guys before they end up dead." Yoon-seung nods along. "You got it, bro." His eyes instantly start glowing with total excitement. "I am so moved. You always act like you hate fighting, but the second I was in danger, you showed off your real power like that." It was a little confusing, but he just nodded anyway. Man, this kid is really idolizing him now, totally obsessed with both his cool personality and his hidden strength. "Bro, you are seriously," Jiro just stares at his phone screen, completely lost for words. "I told him to report gate crimes to the association, not the cops. Right? Did he seriously not listen to me?" Remembering something makes him glance sideways. The look in his eyes turns into one of pure, intense annoyance. Those annoying jerks. He sighs, thinking to himself that he just wants them caught, handcuffed, and totally put through the ringer. But not long after that, Jiro is the one sitting in a room with handcuffs on, looking completely lost. What the hell? What is even going on right now? He is trying to piece it all together, but everything is a mess. I am losing it. Yuan walks up and calls out his name, Mr. Kim Jio. She gives him a surprised smile. "We meet again. Are you here for some work?" He just shakes his head. No. He just holds up his hands, showing off the handcuffs. "I am actually arrested." At the same time, two huge guys start stomping toward him. "Let us go, Mr. Kim Jiro." They quickly escort him away, heading for the truth room, or more like the basement. Jio can only think in total despair. Why does this stuff always happen to me? Yuan watches from behind, looking pretty worried. Chapter 64. The story gets retold. Here is exactly how the whole situation went down. The scene shifts back to the portal entrance where they find Jio. Association staff who got a report showed up at the scene in no time. Du-Yoon and his teammates got hauled off by the cops, and those terrorists were caught while they were still totally frozen. I thought that was the end of it. But then a guard suddenly asks, "The gate is open, so who actually took down the boss?" Yoon smiles and speaks up. It was Jiro, obviously. That news shocks the man. Yoon starts to realize he might have messed up. Both of them stare hard at Jio with judging eyes. Is not this Kim Jiro guy only a rank F hunter? But this is a rank A gate. He just keeps scratching his head, trying to explain. It is not like that, okay? While he's struggling for words, they hit him with it, entering a gate without reporting and totally ignoring the rank limits. Man, everything is moving way too fast. They slap the cuffs on him for hunting without a license. He is under emergency arrest for all those charges they just listed. Jio is panicking in his head. Arrested? These people even remembered to tell him he has the right to stay silent and get a lawyer. You know the drill, right? Confiscate his phone. Yoon sees this and screams out in a panic. Bro. Jiro's face is literally turning gray from the stress. Damn it, back to the present. Jiro thinks helplessly that he might dodge the first two charges, but unlicensed hunting is a whole different level of trouble. This is the Hunter Association basement interrogation room. Sweat is dripping down his face. One wrong move and he is going to jail. Wake up, man. The investigator finally speaks up. So, let us get this straight. He stares at the report. You were just the porter, and Hunter and Yoon Seum took out every monster. Is that right? He gives a solid nod. Yeah, that is exactly what happened. This makes him suspicious. You are saying you forgot to report the gate entry by mistake? He just keeps nodding along. Totally. Jio throws in a little extra. How could an F-rank loser like me take down an A-rank boss? The guy next to the investigator whispers something. That actually sounds legit. They keep gossiping while Jio listens to every single word. Just now, Hunter Gujin used some new gear to reevaluate his awakened rank. And we have the results. The investigator looks pretty serious as he listens to the news. He really is an F rank. After a long silence, he finally slams the file down on the table. So, Kim Jio, for now we are just giving you a warning for entering a gate unregistered. He adds that it is on his record now, and next time it is a felony. We won't be this nice again. Jio nods. Inside, he is doing a happy dance. Freedom at last. Now he just needs to figure out his next move. All he has to do is sell those cores in his inventory and get rich. Then, he remembers something and his face goes pale. Hold up. Thinking it through, Gio realizes there is a major problem with the way they sell gate loot in South Korea. He is getting desperate. Does he not have to use the national exchange? Everything leaves a paper trail there. Once he is out, Gio thinks to himself, right now, I am a prime suspect for unlicensed hunting. If I go and sell all these cores now, it won't be as easy as I thought it would. I will get caught 100%. Suddenly, his phone rings, grabbing his attention. It is a call from Yoon Seung. Gio picks up fast. Hey, Yoon Seung. The kid's voice blares through the speaker. Hey, bro, you finished with the interrogation yet? He whispers into the phone. I told them I was the one who destroyed the whole pack of golems. But these investigators keep asking me for documentation to prove where I was hunting. Gio is stunned. Proof of hunting. Feeling totally defeated, Gio lets out a heavy sigh. There is no other way. Tears start rolling down his face. Dang it, I am going to go get it. He tells himself this is karma for trying to trick in Yoon Seung. Cut to the Nachan Temple branch. Elder Day looks confused while listening to the report from his subordinate. What? He is shocked and snaps back. You are telling me all our followers in the gate got arrested. This guy is Elder Day, a middle manager for the Nachan Temple. He keeps asking, what about the items? We did not get the items? The subordinate just nods his head. Yes, sir. Elder Day lets out a tired sigh. How am I supposed to show my face to father now? He knows that item is incredibly rare. It is an infinite power core, a legendary reward you can only get from a golem boss. Every big corporation is after this item, making it nearly impossible to buy even with tons of cash. Not getting it makes him furious. We can't outbid giants like the Korea Magic Tower, so the only way to get it is to go take it ourselves. But Elder Day can't hide his regret. We just lost one of our most valuable A-rank followers too. Right then, the bearded guy bows his head. I am so sorry for the failure, Elder. Suddenly remembering something, he asks. I heard other hunters entered the gate first. So, who beat the boss and took the core? The guy's eyes turn dead serious. He starts remembering the scene outside the gate from earlier that day. Beardo carefully listens to the investigator's question. The gate is open now. So, who exactly took down the boss? Naive Yoon Seo just blurts it out. It was Gio, obviously. Back in reality, Beardo reports the name. I heard a hunter named Kim Gio was the one who defeated the boss. He tells Elder Day everything he knows. Since there is no news of a new core being sold yet, he must still have it in his possession. After thinking for a second, he gives a cold order. We need a replacement for that, A-ranker. Go capture him. His voice is full of rage. Make sure you brainwash him and get that core back no matter what it takes. Elder Day warns the bearded man one more time. You had better not fail me again, this time. Fast forward to the next day. Yuan is walking down a long road, totally glued to her phone screen. Something feels off, so she looks up in surprise at what is ahead of her. She quickly asks, is that an Yoon Seung? Surprised, he turns his head to look back. He flashed a smile and started chatting. Done hunting the Gujian? Headed back home? She nodded. Yeah, but what are you doing here? Yoon looked a bit awkward and admitted, just coming from the exchange. Sold off a few golem parts. That definitely piqued her interest. Golem parts? From that gate yesterday? Yoon fumbled for an explanation, but she cut him off. Actually, I have been meaning to ask you something. Yuan quickly blurted out her suspicion. The person who took down that boss yesterday was the hunter Kim Jiro, right? Sweat started pouring down his face as he panicked. His voice got all forced. Look, I never actually said anything about that. She went quiet, thinking to herself. I had a feeling about this, and now it turns out I was totally right. Now she was convinced this Kim Jiro guy actually managed to slay an A-rank boss. Hey, look, you better be careful. People inside the association have already started talking about this. Yun just stood there in silence, listening to her every word. He only got a light penalty this time, but the association is watching Kim Jiro now. She sighed and checked her phone. I do not care how good he is. Diving into high-level gates like that is just a bad idea. She figured she should probably just talk to him directly. Watching Yuan's reaction made him totally confused. Wait, who are you calling? The transporter, she explained seriously. Then, a mechanical voice suddenly rang out from the other end of the line. This phone is turned off. Please leave a message. Yoon hung up the phone. No answer? Seriously? She sighed at the screen. He had his phone off, leaving him with nothing but prayers. Please, just this once. Someone needs to save Jiro. The scene shifted to the refugee shelter. Jiro was lounging there, munching on some snacks while replaying everything in his head. I worked my tail off collecting those cores until I almost went crazy, only to hand them all over to Yoon. I know I earned this, but it still feels wrong. He reached back into the bag for another chip. Well, at least I did not walk away completely empty-handed. The loot from that boss is technically mine anyway. Just thinking about the whole situation made him feel completely drained. Besides, I already have a plan for how to use that core. He realized the bag was empty. Wait, did I eat it all? He felt a surge of excitement and thought to himself, with this much mana, I can finally do something to shock the world. Jiro tried to turn his phone on, but it stayed black. Off? Is the battery seriously dead already? Loud noises from outside caught his attention. Is that a charity giveaway going on? He asked himself as he got up. Yeah, I should probably check it out. He looked happy. At least there are still some good people on Earth bringing us food. Jiro quickly headed outside to see what was up. Man, that curry they gave me last time was actually fire. Before he could even process what was happening, ropes whipped around his body. What the? Who are these freaks? Jiro realized their strategy. They were cutting off a mage's breath to keep him from using any skills. Clever bastards. His consciousness started to fade away. Damn it, cannot breathe. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure slowly walked toward him, step by step. Chapter 65. A deep sigh echoed through the basement. Jiro noticed the brutal torture tools laid out on the table. No matter how he looked at it, this situation was a mess. He did not even know what to say about his luck. Kidnapped. Part 2. Crap. While he was sitting there, a cold voice boomed. You arrived much earlier than I expected. A guy with a thick beard asked coldly. So, how is the body feeling? Jiro bristled as he looked at him. Is this the kidnapper? I can tell just by looking at his face. Jiro reminded himself to at least listen to the guy first. He suddenly piped up and asked a question. Look, why exactly did you bring me to this place? The man stepped inside and kept talking. Who knows? It could be for enlightenment, or maybe it is for your salvation. He suddenly pulled out a knife. Everything is happening according to the will of the 8 guardian gods of Nak-chan. That guy's words left Jiro even more confused. Everything coming out of his mouth was just super creepy. After thinking it over, his expression changed. Wait, Nak-chan. He remembered the message from Yuan. Have you ever heard of the Nak-chan temple? Those terrorists are actually just followers of a fake cult. He sat there in silence, reading the messages she sent him. We call those followers the Nak-chan temple cult. It hit him hard. These guys were more than just simple terrorists. While he was lost in thought, the bearded guy walked right up to his face. This is how the world works. Everything should belong to those who actually understand its true value. His words were incredibly annoying, especially when talking about the rare resources that only drop from special gates. Jiro cut him off. Wait, I get it. You want me to hand over the infinite power core, do you not? The man nodded immediately. Exactly. He looked pretty annoyed as he continued to speak. We searched your refugee tent and your house, but it was nowhere to be found. The bearded guy gripped his knife coldly. Tell me where the core is. Now. His eyes are straight up predatory. Don't tell me you already sold it to someone else, kid. Staring at that blade, Jiro flinches. The core. This whole setup is so cringe and messy, he is actually starting to tear up. Yun Sung has got the core now. If I mess up this lie, he is getting dragged into this nightmare right along with me. He is stuck. Seeing Jiro act all weird, Beard Guy suddenly cracks a smile that is definitely not a friendly one. Right. Figured you wouldn't talk easy. He slides the blade toward Jiro's cheek. Guess I will have to give you a little nudge. Before he can even blink, blood sprays across his face. He realizes the guy just drove the knife through his hand. Beard Guy is grinning like a total psycho now. Make no mistake, this dude is seriously unhinged and dangerous. After a long silence, Jiro finally breaks. Fine, fine. I will do whatever you want from now on. Just stop. He stares at the blood pooling on the floor. Please, just, no more of the stabbing thing, okay? Inside, he is panicking. Thank God I adjusted my pain perception settings earlier, or that hit would have been absolute, soul-crushing agony. He locks eyes with the bearded freak. So, I just tell you where the core is and then we are cool? Jiro's chill reaction actually throws the guy off. What the? I literally stabbed you and you didn't even flinch once? The guy's face goes pale. High pain tolerance? He has never seen anyone tank a hit like that before. Is he just powering through on pure spite? Beard Guy isn't wasting time though. He grabs a nearby chair. He is actually impressed by Jiro's vibe. This kid might actually be an A-rank hunter, or maybe even something higher. He slams his hand onto a weird orb. Fact is, the stronger the hunter, the tougher their mind is to break. Jiro feels the vibe shift. Something is definitely wrong. Wait, what is that thing? That eyeball orb is staring right at him. It is a rare rank tempting eye, built to brainwash people into mindless puppets. While Jiro's still processing, Beard Guy growls, no matter what it takes today, I am getting results. I am finishing the mission Elder Day Brainwash assigned. He sneers at Jiro, wondering how long this poker face will last. He just stands there, totally frozen and freaked out by every move this Kim Jiro guy makes. Time keeps ticking away. The floor is starting to look like a crime scene with all those blood spatters. Beard guy suddenly goes white. This monster. He stares at Jiro's mangled body in total shock. How? Just how? Why isn't he breaking? Jiro's just thinking to himself. So, this is how people on Earth do the torture thing? Should probably hurt, right? He sighs deeply. I can't feel the pain, but I am losing way too much blood. This is getting dangerous. Jiro speaks up again. Look, I already told you where the core is. He gives Beard Guy a cold stare. There is nothing else to tell, so why keep trying? Beard Guy snaps back, totally livid. Excuse me? What? Binyu doesn't grant a loser like you a real apocalypse. His voice is shaking with rage. Jiro just glances away silently. That thing. Jiro notices the eye orb is still locked on him. It is a mental weapon. It causes zero physical pain, but uses spiritual magic for easy brainwashing. He is pretty sure he has got this figured out. But whatever, I am literally immune to brainwashing. Jiro suddenly blurted out, Hey, hold up a second. He tests the guy. Shouldn't we stop now? Beard Guy whips his head around, totally confused. Wait, what did you just say? While the guy is still processing, Jiro keeps going. You want to turn me into your subordinate, right? Fine. I will join your little temple. Whatever. Beard Guy's face twists. Why the sudden change of heart? Jiro doesn't hold back. He gives it to him straight. Because I am afraid I am gonna die, man. Honestly, those words are driving Beard Guy absolutely insane. He shoves the hypnosis orb right into Jiro's face. Jiro flinches. Wait, then why? Why isn't it working? Before he can move, the guy cracks him across the head. Beard Guy has officially lost it, just screaming his lungs out. You are lying. If you were actually scared for your life right now, the eye should have worked. You're getting wrecked right now, and you still don't show even a hint of fear. Jiro just sighs, exhausted. It worked, I swear. Jiro adds, I am like terrified right now, but the guy is definitely not buying any of it. What? Jiro keeps going, I am the one getting beat up here. So why are you the one backing away? Jiro is done with this. This is pure insanity. He shouts out, Hey, is there anyone else in this place? I want to talk to your manager. Call the boss in here right now. I actually have some top-tier intel that could really help the whole pagoda out. A smug grin spreads across the guy's face. Knew it. Finally, you're showing your true colors, you little punk. You were gunning for the cult leadership from the start. He slams the orb down onto the floor. Honestly, I have no clue why someone tough enough to wreck a golem would just let themselves get dragged in here like this. Jiro is totally speechless. Nah, that is not it. The creep gets annoyed and grabs a blade off the torture table to shut him up. The knife sinks right into his thigh, pinning him down and keeping him from moving an inch. Watching his blood pool out just makes him feel more useless. Crap. He just stares blankly at the bearded thug sitting right across from him. Everything is getting blurry. Is this what losing too much blood feels like? The more he thinks about it, the more pissed off he gets. Torture 101, do not kill the hostage. So how the heck did I even get caught by this loser? Is this moron really failing at basic math while I bleed out? One question keeps looping in his head. Am I actually going to die here? A noise outside catches the bearded guy's attention. Jiro looks toward the door as the thug stands up, clearly about to check out the situation. What was that? Suddenly, the door flies open. A cloud of dust kicks up, leaving the bearded guy standing there looking like a complete idiot. A familiar silhouette appears, and before the thug can even blink, a massive hand is wrapped tightly around his throat, cutting off his air. Jiro just watches from the corner, totally stunned. That was fast. The newcomer wears a cocky grin as he starts to speak like a boss. Hey there, Kim Jiro. Fancy seeing you again. Seeing him show up out of nowhere like this leaves Jiro completely frozen in his tracks. What the hell? He still has no idea what is going on. Why is this guy showing up here of all places? How did he even know I was locked up in this dump? He leads Jiro out, passing a mountain of bodies, including the big shot cult leader himself. As they walk, he cannot help but wonder, has this guy been stalking me? Since when? The next morning, after getting some rest, he calls her to say he is safe. Plus, that weird cult she mentioned? Yeah, they are officially history. She is absolutely floored when she hears the news. Honestly, is this guy a god or something? How does he know every single thing? That afternoon, he meets Green Hair. Jiro just asks him straight up if he is being followed. Greenie does not even deny it, which is surprising. Points for being honest, I guess. Jiro lays his cards on the table. You possess the gluttony skill, do not you? You kill people to steal their powers. The only reason I am still alive is because you are not sure how strong I am, right? His face gets serious. Spot on. Green Hair stands up, leaning in close with a creepy offer. You were 24 years old this year, right? Mind dying by my hand when you hit 34? That is it for part 1. Don't forget to give your boy a like and follow.